current situation, especially those that are asking for the right to their self-determination. To all the sound engineer and everyone that will be joining us this evening, I want you to sit back and let us enjoy the Naija voices on the Starr Radio UK network. The music, as you can hear there, says unity. The unity is what we need. We do not want to be divided. We do not want to have crisis situation where as many people might end up going into that because the resident doctors are on strike and a lot of us are becoming concerned with the situation in Nigeria. I say all the time, Nigeria has gone through the turbulence time so many times. There's been a lot of issue in the past. Can we literally work on some of our differences and find a lasting solution so that we do not end up like what is going on in Sudan? I say good evening and welcome to Bishop Adeshina. Good evening to you, Frank Dudu, and welcome once again to those of you that have joined us across the globe. It is called the Starr Radio UK, and I welcome those of you that are live with me already. The situation in southeast part of Nigeria is quite alarming. Who should the southeast listen to? Should they listen to the government in exile of the Biafra, or should they listen to the governor of the state? Because it seems that the governor of Enugu state has done a lockdown of some of the stores in the southeast, and that is already generating a lot of crises. 1 or 2 people have died. I will be talking about that as well this evening. So many times we ask the question, what is the role of a government? What is the advantage of a government try to resolve problems and making sure that a situation can be dosed down in the northern part of the country. We've seen the pictures of Davido being burnt down, and the question is, are we still one in terms of the country called Nigeria?
Yoruba nation tí wà ní ìfàmìfà Yoruba nation ó yẹ kó lè múlẹ̀ ní. Àwa náà ló máa padà wúlò fún ìṣọ̀kan ọmọ Yorùbá.
For those that are asking, why should we have a division when we can have a united Nigeria? The question then is, if we're going to have a united Nigeria, should we start talking about some of the development that is making people to be concerned when it comes to being marginalized? We continue to remember the Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho's family in prayer as they are still mourning the death of the mother, the grandmother, and as many of the grandchildren are still feeling that there will be no more grandmother to call, and there will be no more grandmother, to visit. Each time they'll have to, because grandmother has gone to where they say Agbanre, as the Yoruba will say in our lecture or in our culture, as we say. Good evening to my beautiful mother. Good evening to those of you that have joined us so far. And let's say welcome again to the Starr Radio UK Network, Naija Voices. As I prepare the program in just about 5 minutes from now, I still want us to enjoy these before we go into the full program.
ó ṣe Yorùbá kó ṣe Yorùbá ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation kí wá di ìfàmìfà o Yorùbá nation ó yẹ kó lè mú lẹ́yìn.
For those that are saying that why should we have a Yoruba country, the question then is, Northern or Republic of Ireland played Nigeria. I'll be telling you the full score. And as Nigeria continue to represent, the women continue to represent Nigeria in the ongoing World Cup, the question then is, if the Republic of Ireland is a 5 million population, why then can't we have a Yoruba country that is not even, or a little bit more than 5 million? Good evening to you, Tiwa Lashe, and welcome once again to those of you that have joined me this evening. It is called the Starr Radio UK Network. What played out during the DSS and Emefiele, is this the right thing? You know, is Nigeria still a banana country that the rule of law is not respected? And that is the reason why many Nigerians are concerned that it seems that the judiciary is no longer as powerful to make decisions. Emefiele was granted bail, but it seems that the DSS would prefer to keep Emefiele. Hey. To my sound engineer, and I say good evening to you, Olawale Alabi. Kehinde Oseni, good evening to you, Waris Jinadu, good evening to you, and good evening to everyone that have joined us, and welcome to the network. But it seems that the Yoruba people have now got a voice in the government as against after the music came out. We now have a voice, which is the President Bola Tinubu is a Yoruba man, but the president for Nigeria. NLC have now said enough is enough to the president. We will be going on strike. Am I going to have our analysts later on as well? Make sure you stay tuned. We would have our analysts later on, but like I said, please do not call because we are not taking calls yet. Please do not call. We are still live and we are not taking any calls right now. My name again is OLAYOMI, Koiki, and I'll be taking you, through, the program tonight. And as we say, at the appropriate time, we will allow you to call in, but please do not call yet because there is still a lot to discuss. Let's go back again. I say good evening to you, Nuruddin Ajani Busari, and welcome. For those of you on the TikTok, Olami, I say good evening and welcome. Larry and they say good evening and welcome to the Starr Radio UK Network. And this is how we do it every Wednesday evening from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. At exactly 8 o'clock, it is all about the Yoruba conversation and there will be no English as at that time. Shout out to those of you on the Instagram that have joined us, to those of you on the MixLR that have joined us, to those of you that are following us on the Starr Radio UK Network. I say good evening and welcome to the Starr Radio UK Network. Do you know that there's still many information coming out in Nigeria when it comes to terrorist attack in Zamfara, in Bauchi? What is the new chief of staff doing to make sure that Nigeria can be safe and Nigerians can move around without an attack by the Fulani terrorists? Shout out to those of you in the southeast, shout out to those of you in the middle belt, shout out to those of you across the continent. My name is Olami Koiki, and I'll be taking you through the program tonight. On the 29th of this month, which is just 2 days, Bola Tinubu is expected to submit the ministerial list. Who and who are you thinking might appear in that list? And who do you think might not appear in that list as well? So How many Yoruba people have been kidnapped? When we got the statistics from Professor Adebanji Akintoye, under 8 years of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, more than 29,000 Yoruba people lost their life in what we can call, a crisis under the leadership of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari is no longer in power. Are we going to start counting the numbers of those that are dying in the southeast because of the negligence of dialogue that could have happened between the Biafra government in exile and the new government, President Bola Tinubu? Good evening to you, Adeoye Rashid Olago. Good evening to you, and shout out to those of you that have joined us so far, as we are just about exactly 21 minutes past. And let me just play the last part of this, and at exactly 3 minutes, we kickstart with the program. African_fashion new. Good evening and welcome to you. Shout out to those of you in Ghana. Nigeria ìlú rádaràda, Nigeria ìlú àwọn gbéwìrì, ìlú àwọn 419. Ọlákúnlé, good evening. Good evening to those of you in Dubai. Shout out to those of you that have joined us on the Twitter space. Make sure you follow us on the Starr Radio UK Twitter and the Starr Radio UK, where we make sure. God bless Dr. Chief Sunday YSOM. God bless Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba self-determination. God bless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. God bless Showore. Oh. Hey. Owó bàbá dá mi yo. OLAMILEKAN, good evening and welcome. Waris Inadu say hashtag Ogun Naira to Naira, hashtag Ogun Agbenipa, hashtag Afibibanisun. Save your soul now, and let's start asking Bola Tinubu and his chief of staff what is going on with the security situation in Nigeria, as many Nigerians are still lamenting about kidnapping, killings, ransom paid, and forcefully being slept with. Good evening to you, Alex Mamu, and I would now say 2 more minutes and we go fully into the program. Shola Stichi, good evening to you. Comrade Shola Kokoragu, good evening to you. Mrs. Olushola David, Aziz in Miami. Oh, shout out to all the Nigerians and those that have been affected in Ore. All those of you that have been killed according to the government because of the economy. A lot of you are worried. Peter Pan, good evening to you in Belgium. And as I'm going to be winding down the music in just about a minute. To my producer, Mr. Achi Amon, I say it's now 13 minutes past, and I hope you've enjoyed our first track, because we might not end up playing any more music because it's going to be extremely hot this evening. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí darapọ̀ mọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọláyọmí Koiki. Alákùnbáni Razaki sọ pé ẹ kú fàájì bá mi àgbà Koiki. Inshallah, the Yoruba will be free from the bondage of Nigeria. Ẹ sọ pé àmì. Yay! Yay! Good evening once again. Let's leave the music because there's a lot to discuss this evening. I welcome you all. I say good evening, welcome. If it's your first time joining us, make sure you tune in every Wednesday on the Starr Radio UK network, where we discuss issues affecting Nigeria, Nigerians, whether Nigerians in the country, whether Nigerians outside in Africa. Also, we discuss the indigenous people. We discuss about the right of the indigenous people. And we also review as many reasons why some are now saying the situation room in Nigeria is worth looking into. So tonight, I'm going to start with the NLC. The Nigerian Labour Congress have now promised that there will be a strike. Nobody prayed for strike around the world. The junior doctors in UK have been on strike because of their pay. There's so many countries around the world that people come out and request that inflation is not becoming bearable. And that is the reason why people go on strike. My question tonight is, will the President Bola Tinubu, the President of the 16th Federal Republic of Nigeria, look into those that are now saying that we need to get more money, because without more money, we will end up going on strike. Nobody wants to see Nigeria goes in problem. But like they say, younger sleep, problem go look for am. I saw a video on the Instagram, and each time I look back to that video, I keep asking myself, why do some people allow problem to develop until it becomes explosive? We saw that the problem in Sudan has gone into out of hand. Remy Official, my beautiful brother, good evening to you and welcome to those of you that have joined us. As we say, we have the right, for those of you that keep asking, what right? The right as a Nigerian, for those of you that believe in Nigeria, I am not one of those anymore. Nigeria has not been in the situation that we should be excited about. For 63 years, workers have not been respected. Workers, there with us. Let's see what is going on. Yeah, the engineer have removed that. For 63 years, workers have not been paid. Workers have been disrespected. Workers are the one facing the brunt of the situation room. Good evening to you, Mr. Tunde Fatai. Good evening to you, Adewusi Olabi. Good evening to you, Adeniyi Adejubril. Adeleke Yemi. Good evening to those of you. And I'm calling all these names without calling you as disrespected. Good evening to you, our mother, Elena, and welcome to Niger Voices. Ismaila Subaru, good evening to you. Good evening to grandmother Sarah Oyelowo, and welcome to you all. Olushola David, my beautiful auntie, good evening to you, as I'm going to be reviewing and asking, is it right that people go on strike? Because we know what is going to be the end of a strike, because any strike in Nigeria right now will literally mean that many more Nigerians will face difficulties, and I am already concerned. I am concerned because any strike will mean that the federal government would end up having more people that would die in their homes because of the strike. You might start asking, what do I mean by strike? We saw how strike could become one of the tools that people need to be able to tell their government that they are not pleased. In the course of this program, I'll be touching about Enugu State, as the government in exile of the Biafra have said those that their stores were open, that were locked rather, on Monday due to this civil disobedience that is allowed around the world, must now lock the store. But the president's government in exile of the Biafra has also given his own order that those Biafrans in Enugu must open their stores. And there have been, protests, but unfortunately, there have been deaths as well. We do not pray for death, but these does happen. The Labour Confederation have now threatening a nationwide strike from August the 2nd. These are some of the headlines in the last few hours. Another headline says, Tinubu is treating Nigerians like slaves. Do you think so? Do you think that the President Bola Tinubu, that have not yet been there for 3 or 2 months, it is still 48 hours, but already the residents of Abuja are complaining about daily traffic of the president. When Nigerian president are moving, it's like the convoy is like a snake. Snake and ladder. Why is the president not staying in Asoro? Is there something in Aso Rock that is making the president not to stay there? Because the president refused to live in Aso Rock, and that means that the president travels into Aso Rock every blessed day, and this is generating a big traffic that is uncalled for. When my prime minister goes out, I do not expect him to create nuisance in terms of his motorcade. When American president goes out, maybe he might be traveling with more convoy because he's the American president. Fuel subsidy. Nigerian lost peace of mind from May 29. These are some of the headlines. NLC have now issued a 7-day strike notice over the fuel subsidy. Do you agree with the NLC? According to the next headline, Nigerian Labour Congress threatened to nationwide strike, demand a reverse of the petrol price. Do you think that Bola Tinubu can literally reverse the cost of the petrol in Nigeria? Good evening to those of you on the Mix LR and everyone that have joined us so far. As I say, may Nigeria not happen to you and me. Because if Nigeria happened to you, you will run 440. Aziz, good evening to you all the way in Miami. Let's talk. Let's discuss. I am concerned. User 89 on TikTok, good evening to you and thank you so much for listening. To one of you on the Twitter space, I say good evening and welcome. Nigeria Labour Congress gives President Bola Tinubu government 7 days to reverse the anti-masses policy, or the country will be completely shut down. What is your take on these? Do you think that it is right for the NLC to be issuing this kind of ultimatum? Do you think that it is right that the NLC gives the president 7 days strike notice over anti-masses policy? What is your take on all these? Put it in the comment section. Waris Jinadu say, Bola Tinubu, the 11th Bola Tinubu colloquium, presidential campaign speech, increased fuel price and devaluation of the Naira currency against the British pound. Mrs. Titilola Shaw, Yoruba nation now, no going back. No going back. I love that word. No going back. We'll come to the Yoruba nation and the Biafra dialogue. But for now, it's all about the NLC and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember seeing inside of the presidential villa, and I was very excited because nobody knows what it looks like. And when we saw the first meeting between the representative of the government and the NLC, many Nigerians were so excited that they probably forgot about the real problem. And this was the first image then. Everybody was like, wow, so this is what Aso Rock looks like. And I was like, are you sure that is the problem? Because the real problem is far beyond that. Ijaya, the soldier, the voice of the Yoruba people. Good evening to my beautiful, beautiful mother, and welcome to the program as well, as we are looking into why should the NLC goes on strike, or is it right for them to go on strike? What is your take? Kile Yoro, Enyomo Yoruba, Tengbowa, Nile Loko. Shout out to those of the Yorubas that are living outside Nigeria. Good evening to those of you that are joining us on the Twitter space. Continue to listen, and I will be talking about everything you need to know in Nigeria, because Nigeria is now under pressure. But before we go further again, I am asking, is it the right of the Labour Congress now to say, enough of this government playing our mind? Increase the money, increase the fuel, but it seems that the government is not doing that. But it seems that already that the question on the table is, will this government negotiate? Once again, this is Starr Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Once again, let's go and say,
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Once again, I say good evening and welcome to Nigeria, as we say. NLC versus Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Who is going to win the battle? Who is going to tell Nigerians that we are in love of you, we support you? Is it going to be the government of Bola Tinubu? Is it going to be the NLC that is now saying that in the next 7 days, should Bola Tinubu, the government, not make a reverse, we will shut down the country completely?
On your smartphone. In your car. At work. At home. On your smartphone. In your car. At work. At home. On your smartphone.
I'm going to be reading what we know so far from the NLC, but once again, if you're joining us for the very, very first time, this is not what you do all the Wednesday. You don't spend the evening with me before, and you are spending it for the first time. User 89 say only share so-called Nigeria is the only solution. Let everybody go their own separate way. Yoruba nation no going back. What about those that say we keep Nigeria?
UK. This is Starr Radio UK. In your car. At work. At home. On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. In your car. At work. At home. On your smartphone. The best radio show. The best radio show.
It is the best radio show every Wednesday. Good evening to you, my brother Oluwaseun Okunsoya. Good evening to those of you in Ikorodu. Good evening to those of you in Aja. Good evening to those of you in the southeast. We continue to monitor the current situation. I'll be talking about Enugu. I'm a concerned citizen, and I will be asking why should the government of Enugu seal the shops and create havoc? Because whatever is happening in Enugu, the Enugu state governor will be held responsible because he has no right to tell people that decide they are not pleased with the current situation of their leader, Nnamdi Kanu, and they've decided that every Monday for the last 2 years, it's going to be sit-at-home so that the government discuss the situation with Nnamdi Kanu. But it seems that governor of Enugu State is trying to do what his other predecessors have done and they failed. You can't seal the shop of those that are protesting by sitting at home. I mean, they are not creating nuisance. I mean, I don't understand the banana country called Nigeria, the zoological as we call it, a country that doesn't value the lives of the people. People are disloyalty to you, and they are saying that our lives is no longer meaningful, and the only way we can put our lives back is by putting what we call civil disobedience. They've not been harmed. They are only saying sit at home on Monday, and yes, economic-wise, people will lose money, but that is the only way. We're going to come back to that later, but let me quickly tell you what we know so far when it comes to the strike that the NLC has given President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 7 days is a countdown. All these will start happening if this government do not sit back and discuss. NLC threatening nationwide strike, and they are also demanding a reverse of the petrol price. The labor union said the president's subsidy is gone forever speech. The peace of mind of Nigerians has gone. Do you agree with the Labour Congress going on strike? Or should we say that saving 400 billion against the marketers, the criminals marketers that are sucking Nigeria without delivering the crude oil or the PMS, or sometimes deliver them and end up in other African countries, as we have been told? What is your own take? Do you think that it is right for those calling on the strike? Lakeside, Okpomolero, good evening to you. Daisy123, good evening to you. Shout out once again to Oluwashola Davis, my auntie. It is too late, it is too little too late. The Nigerian Labour Congress has now issued a 7-day ultimatum to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration to reverse all the anti-poor people policies, including the hike in the price of the premium motor spirit that most of you will call petrol, that most of you use inside your I better pass your neighbor. More Nigerians have been doing exercise. More Nigerians are trekking due to the cost of the transportation. In a communique that has now ended its central working committee, which was held on Tuesday, the 25th of July 2023, the labor union have now threatening to embark on a total and indefinite strike from next week, Wednesday. So if all goes as planned, I am not going to be on strike. Good evening to you, Akonji. Oh, I can cite you, my brother. Sorry, I've missed your call. Love you so much. I hope all has gone as planned. I will communicate with you at the appropriate time. Shout out to Akinlade Emmanuel. Shout out to those of you who are reaching out to say the NLC cannot even tackle ASU strike. Negotiation is just another charade. Keep the comment coming. It is King AY. It was your birthday in the last few days. Happy birthday to you on behalf of the Starr Radio UK network. And shout out to all the our footballer in Akure that we are supporting, the Muyi Starr. If you like to support the Muyi Starr, I'm going to talk about that in just about a few minutes. But in case you are going to support a team that we fall in love with, you can get in touch with me and I'll tell you what you can do to give us your support. I have been one of their supporters, and I'm also putting this out on the Starr Radio UK. So that one day you might end up seeing our young stars playing internationally. Shout out to those of you in Turkey. Shout out to those of you in Cyprus as I continue to monitor the fire going on in Greece. We're praying for peace across the globe. Good evening to you, my beautiful sister Taiwo Kike. I greet you, Iwakweluewa, a beautiful sister in the state. Good evening to you, Yeyoge. And I say good evening to those of you in Kenya, in South Africa. Sheikh, good evening to you. With this this love, can I keep this love or are you taking it back later? Shout out to you and thank you so much. Let me look quickly and see what they have been saying on the Mix LR. My people there are saying that, Comrade Plan B say good evening. Akin Game say Ilu Awon Osu. I don't know the meaning of that, but all I know is that Nigeria is going through a lot. Maybe we should remind you that Bola Tinubu, before coming to power, says few things. And part of what he said is what I'm going to play in just about a few minutes. But before that, how many of you remember that Bola Tinubu said before coming to power that he would do everything to make sure that 50 million. Let me share shout out to those of you on our Twitter space. We love you all. Totally Links, good evening to you. Igbo, good evening to you. Know Something, good evening to you. Rotimi, Muki, Mr. Patrick, Stan, John Toby. Maybe I should remind you, is it right for the president of the NLC, Joe Ajaro, and the Union Secretary, Emmanuel, is this right for them to call a strike in the next 7 days? Maybe it is right. I don't know. Keep the comment going and I'll be reading them out. Clement 2315, good evening to you. My brother Amy Cole, good evening to you. Bonnie Cole 003. I am concerned, just like you are all concerned, the pound sterling. I'm going to be talking about that in the next 15 minutes with my analyst, Bishop Adesina. At 7 p.m., we will be talking about the currency. Why is the Naira going down quickly? Okay, don't worry, my brother. Akonji also say, I'm happy for what is happening. Oh, you say you are happy. We told them, but they say, Babawa, we do that for us. Maybe we should start with this video that is also trending. And I'm asking, why is the northern part of Nigeria, has Davido done something that needs not to have been done? Yoruba Nation is the final solution. It's coming from Akonji Odewumi. Shout out to Wari. Say Bola Ahmed Tinubu's slogan is Elo Elofio Kombale. Let's start with this from Bola Tinubu during the campaign. Before we go further, I love that music. Dizzy123 say life is becoming unbearable for the ordinary people everywhere in Nigeria because of the economic condition. I'm going to be discussing that with Bishop Additional, our usual analyst on the Starr Radio UK and likewise on Niger Voices. Yay! Recruit 50 million youth. Do you think that Bola Tinubu now will recruit 50 million youth? What are they going to be eating? Cassava gari, eba, ewa, dodo. Cassava gari, ewa, dodo, agbado. Do you think that Bola Tinubu will now employ 50 million youth to slow down the job unemployment situation in Nigeria? Let's take one track, one more before we go further. I can see Aregbesola and Tinubu dancing. Your lunch will not be imported. One child, egg per day, cassava gari ewa. Ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí o, wàhálà ti dé báyìí o. What is going on? Ewa, dodo, gari, dodo. Recruit. And I have evidence that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has recruited. Let's listen to this video and then you will find out why.
Ex-Niger Delta militant leader Asari Dokubo over the weekend, in a brazen show of support, unveiled a group of militants working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So Bola Tinubu is already recruiting part of the 50 million. Let's listen more.
While addressing the militants on parade in a video that has now gone viral, one that anybody that misbehaves or seeks Tinubu's downfall.
You will get woto if you not make sure you mind your business. It is not me saying that. Are we sure that all this is not putting pressure in the country? The NLC said the federal government has shown enormous disdain, too much big English, and the contempt for Nigerian people, and have declared war of attrition on the Nigerian workers and masses. But it seems that some people have already got a job under Bola Tinubu.
Smashed.
According to Kenny D. Collar, a unity system is the only solution to Nigerian problem. Keep your comment coming. The rest is sure. I'll be reading them out. Thank you so much. And it seems that merci beaucoup. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Yomi. Shout out to those of you in Benin Republic. This kind God, yeah. Turn by turn, I beg now, Peter Obi, go and wait for your turn. But the obedient are saying, no, we have to go and find out why the 25% is not looked into. Atiku said, no, I'm not pleased. What is going to be the outcome of the Presidential Election Tribunal? But for now, Bola Tinubu has got part of his recruitment to the 50 million. Kennedy said, unity system is the only solution to Nigerian problem. Keep the comment coming. The rest assured, on the Starr Radio UK, we're going to be playing that. I say shout out, salamu alaikum to Sheikh Imam Nazar for joining us, and Mokigbo. Shout out to the Southeast, shout out to the Middle Belt, shout out to the 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria. We love you all, but the question is, does the government love you like I do?
Ex-Niger Delta militant leader Asari Dokubo over the weekend, in a brazen show of support, unveiled a group of militants working for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But Dokubo, while addressing the militants on parade in a video that has now gone viral, one that anybody that misbehaves or seeks Tinubu's downfall will be smashed.
Jimolo say Peter Obi will not be Nigerian president. Yo. Turn by turn.
We work for President Ahmed Bola Tinubu.
So Bola Tinubu has started his recruitment to the 50 million youth. Let's listen to Asari Dokubo, or Alhaji Mujahidi Dokubo, that just returned from Mecca I don't know what he has gone to do in Mecca, but we know that people that goes to Mecca have gone to God praises and worship to Almighty Allah.
And he will succeed. Anybody who is planning for him to fail, the person has already. If you do anyhow, you do anyhow, you do anyhow, you do anyhow, you do anyhow.
The question is, has Simon Ekpa done more of these that warrant the attack in the southeast? Has Dr. Chief Sunday IGBOHO done more of these for warranting to be chased out of Yoruba land in the last 2 years? I'm seeing a lot going on, fire exchange by the police in the video in front of me right now, as we continue to say we pray for peace in southeast. Thank you so much, to those of you that are listening and also following us on the TikTok. Everybody have the right to support whoever you want to support, but the question then is, are you monitoring that there's a coup going on in Niger? What is going on in Africa? Why can't we get it right? Why are we still backward? In 8 minutes, I'll be discussing with our analysts on the economic situation of Nigeria that is also making the NLC to go on strike. At about almost 8 o'clock, we will review what is going on in the southeast. But at 8 o'clock, it's all about the Yoruba Nation conversation. As the launch of the radio, Yoruba One Voice Radio that we saw happening over the weekend. There's another launching coming up. I'll be telling you about that as well, because it seems that the Yorubas are saying our communication to our people on the ground must increase in multifold. So quite a lot is happening. On the 29th, the central office are traveling on a call to a beach. If you want to be part of that, let us know. We can get in touch with you, and then you can get in touch with them as well. Thank you so much once again to every one of you that have joined us so far.
Ex-Niger Delta militant leader. So, Dr. Martin, this is... All right. What has Nigeria become?
Turn by turn. Nigeria turn by turn. I beg you, wait for your turn.
Wait for your turn, Dr. Martin. This is...
You see how interesting Nigeria is? A situation whereby the president of Nigeria has the support of militants. Okay, and you ask yourself a question.
Aji say it seems that the DSS haven't seen the video yet.
Together, a group of
good evening, Mr. Samson Adekunle.
And I can mobilize. Well, I don't see them doing anything wrong.
Oh, Abati, stop lying. Stop lying. You don't see them doing anything wrong. Okay, let's listen more.
Solidarity for President Tinubu. One of those curious things about
Shegun Yovo, good evening to you.
The role of non-state actors within the polity. Well, you may say maybe this is during the political season.
Oh, it's not political season, Dr. Abati. This is all lies.
Wait, see?
No, it wasn't during the political season. This is a recent...
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, what better? Oh, you see, these are the journalists that every one of you believe in. These are the journalists that tells you A and B. Abati knows that this is a new video, but he's trying to twist it. Let's listen to the last bit, and then we move forward swiftly as well.
The president
came back from the house. So what?
Before we go further, Ijaya, we cannot get it right because we are ruling by empty head and bunch of idiots calling themselves leaders. Ijaya General is one of the voices that is well known within the Nigerian, the Yoruba community by telling us exactly what we need to know. Let's listen to the final part as well.
Political season, and these are non-state actors. And I don't know how
they
this
couldn't do anything. They put a gun in this one's hand. What about the guns he was brandishing before? Let's call it spade a spade. If we want the truth in this country,
if we want the truth in this country, Ijaya General said division is the only answer to the save Nigeria. Nigeria is dead, according to Ijaya General, and gone. Why do you refuse to bury Nigeria body? Nigeria cannot work forever, and you people should stop wasting our lives now. It is time for the revolution. Revolution. Omoyele talked about the revolution. Do you think that there will be a revolution in Nigeria? There was a prison break, and nobody talked about that. But what is going on before, I'm going to be bringing my guest in. What is going on in the north? Let's listen to this and leave Dr. Abati for telling us lies.
Davido, Allah ya tsine mu albarka Davido. Davido, ba mu da abin da ya fi sallah. Davido, yanda ka wulakanta sallah, Allah ya wulakanta.
Okay, this video is being spoken in Hausa language, which is a language I don't understand. And this is why we are saying, why did the British kept everybody together where we don't speak the same language? This man is speaking in Hausa, but I can see a banner of a beautiful son of Yoruba land doing well in his music around the globe, known as Davido. But I don't know what has gone wrong, but it seems that Davido has upset the northern part of Nigeria, and they are now burning his images across the north. Always love _Goldchild. Good evening to you. Gapson T. Lee. Good evening to you. My question is, what has warranted the northern part of Nigeria burning down Davido's image? Ezekiel Ayikbola. Good evening to you. Oh, hey, Biafra. Ominira Yoruba, good evening to you and welcome to the program. We really appreciate you. Good evening to you, Ganiu Oguns. Good evening to you. You also went on to say, all is all about freedom, freedom, freedom. To a beautiful grandmother and a mother, love you so much, Mrs. Susan Temidayo. Thank you so much to everyone that is joining us around the world. Keep the comment coming. Ijaya say, Abati na fool and is also an ex-corrupt politician as well as a shame. No, they catch Abati.
Davido, Allah ya tsine mu albarka Davido. Davido, ba mu da abin da ya fi sallah. Davido, yanda ka wulakanta sallah, Allah ya wulakanta ka Davido. Davido, muna kira da ka sauke wannan biyun da ka ɗora a shafukanka na sada zumunta. Davido, kwana biyu kenan.
So what has Davido done wrong that warrants this hatred for him? The hatred is just so much that they have to keep burning the images of Davido. In the next few minutes, I'll be joined by our analyst, Bishop Adeshina, so that we can talk about the stress under the economy of Nigeria. Benson, thank you so much. But before that, I want to take us back to what I listened to when it comes to the DSS arrest of Emefiele. Is Nigeria now a banana country? Is Nigeria now a country that doesn't respect rule of law? Why is Nigeria not respecting rule of law? Why is it that Nigeria has become a state or a nation that fails to respect rule of law? All these are part of the discussion this evening. Let's listen to this.
Today, Emefiele has had his day in court. He was arraigned today, this morning, and he has been granted bail graciously by his lordship. They arraigned him on a 2-count charge, very ridiculous charge, bordering on illegal possession of firearms. Gentlemen of the press, if you know the firearm that we are talking about, it is the kind of gun that the likes of Christopher Columbus and Mongopa used during their days. This is the kind of gun that the SSS exhibited in their proof of evidence. This is how low that organization has turned itself to be. Ladies and gentlemen, but the good news is that
why we are not in the feed anymore. We are having technical glitch, and let's see, yeah, it seems that we've resolved that now. Back once again, my name is OLAYOMI Koiki. Moki Bogwamo Yoruba Kakiri Nibi Tetingbawa, and all our Biafra brothers and the Hausas, the other ethnic groups that have joined us. Maybe this is your very first evening with me. This is called the Niger Voices on the Starr Radio UK network, where we are looking into so many development. Good evening to a mother, Omolara Iyabo Ajala. I say welcome to the program. Our brother, our uncle Adeni Ijimo say Oluwa Oba Aforiji Yo Foriji Iya Yoruba to Jade Laye. That is the mother of Dr. Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. We all know that the mother died over the weekend, and we can only continue to pray for the family of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. It's a very sad situation, but as Igboho said himself, we have to move on and we have to accept our fate. As I continue to monitor the situation in Nigeria, let's say it again.
UK. This is Starr Radio UK. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
When Nnamdi Kanu was kept, without the right of his human right, if Emefiele have said something maybe today, Emefiele also would not be in the situation as we speak right now. We might touch on the NSAS, the situation, what is going on in Lagos State. I'm not sure why Lagos State government wants to bury 103 million. Did I say million? 103,000. Sorry, that's 1,000. 103 individuals. According to the Lagos State government, these are not people that died in the Lekki protest. These are just people that we picked up after the Lekki protest.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
in your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
According to DZ123, the DSS must take responsibility for manhandling of the coronational staff in the court yesterday. Maybe some of you didn't see the images. I showed the image this morning. We'll see if we can get that image out later on. We continue to look at why the NLC will want to go on strike. Is it the right thing to do at this particular time? Remilekun Bilawa, thank you so much for joining us, our beautiful mother. Thank you, those of you that have joined us on all the platforms. A huge hug from Iyawa Molara. Thank you so much to Temi. Thank you so much to those of you that are listeners that decide not to comment. Gladys on the spiritual space, good evening and welcome once again. GBA, good evening to you. To all the Nigerians, we say good evening to you as well. As we continue to monitor the situation in Nigeria, the question then is, why is Lagos State trying to bury 103 people at this very difficult time with 61 million? Some might say it is the right thing to do. When people don't reclaim back their corpses, why not give them a mass burial? Is it the right thing to do? You might be able to tell me. Samson Adekunle say, Nigeria from top to bottom, no law, and everything seems to be, as they say, Nigeria jaga jaga. Let's remind you of this, and then when I come back, I will then put a call to our political analyst and also a friend of the Starr Radio UK to tell us. Gani Oloyede, good evening to you. Shegun Yovo, good evening to you. And if I haven't seen you, it's because maybe you haven't commented or you are just sitting down and just listening to the live transmission. Let's take a short interlude. And when I come back, this, for those of you that don't understand Yoruba, is just to say that even if you're in the southeast, do the little farming that you can do. Don't wait for the government. This government has no iota of helping you. Babatunde say, God bless you too, sir. One thing I can say is that Oko Etile is for everybody. It does not matter whether you are Yoruba. Bear with all those of you on the TikTok. We'll come back in just about a few seconds. It does not matter whether you are Igbo or whether you are from the north. Let us start doing the little that we can do when it comes to Oko Etile. Oko Etile literally means that those of you that might start planting something to eat for your own loved ones, because Nigeria is becoming a place where foodstuff is becoming very, very expensive. So if you are one of those, please start doing that little planting. Very, very important. Bear with us, those of you, as we continue to check the network to make sure that we are very, very stable. Let's listen to these. And when I come back, I'll speak to Bishop Additional. And this was put together by a mother, Mrs. Janet Fashaki. Thank you so much for reminding us that if Okoitile is the best, don't try to do the big farm, because the Fulani terrorists are all over the bushes, in the southeast, in everywhere. But if you can start the smaller one very close to your house, that will be very beautiful. Let's listen to this.
Oko etílé jọ̀nà ìwúrí láti gbára wa àti nǹkan ọ̀gbìn wa kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn adaranjẹko Fúlàní. Ìdí nìyí tí ìyàwó agbẹjọ́rò dókítà Janet Fashaki, afíjú lọ́yà láti ìlú Amẹ́ríkà, fẹ́ pe gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá wípé ẹ jẹ́ kí a lo àǹfààní ilẹ̀ ọlọ́ràá tí Ọlọ́run fi fún wa láti gbin àwọn ọ̀kan ọ̀jọ̀kan nǹkan jíjẹ bíi tòmẹ́tò, ata, àlùbọ́sà, ẹ̀fọ́, ilá, ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀, iṣu, gbàgùdá àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ sí etí ilé wa. A lè dáko sínú ilé wa, àyíká ilé wa, tàbí ilé tí wọn kò tí ì parí ládùúgbò wa. Tí a kò bá tilẹ̀ gbé níbi tí a tilẹ̀ gbin nǹkan sínú ilẹ̀, a lè kó yẹ̀pẹ̀ jọ sínú àpò, inú abọ́, ìyẹn tó lóyìnbó ń pè ní bucket tàbí garawa ìjákù láti sọ̀gbìn oko etílé. Let's go farming to eradicate farming. Kí ẹbí ọmọlé ní ilẹ̀ káàárọ̀ òjìrè, níbi tí àwọn tí wọ́n lé àwọn àgbẹ̀ wa kúrò lóko ní ìtàpẹ̀rẹ̀ tòmátò ní $15,000, ìyún 50,000 naira fún wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣoko etílé, ká lè gbọ́ lọ́wọ́ ìṣẹ́ òun ìyà tó ń tẹbi. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí fún ọ̀kan ọ̀jọ̀kan ìbéèrè tẹ́ bá fẹ́ bi wá, ẹ lè pè tàbí kẹ́ WhatsApp wa lórí +1 917 689 6910. Oko etílé.
And that is for those of you that would like to start it now. Don't leave it too late, even if it's just okra, even if it's just the little thing. Please, 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 we are pleading with you. Let us start planting so that we do not get, a situation where, we are not having enough to eat. Let's see if we get the good line today. Last week we were struggling to get as much from Bishop Adesina. Let's hope this evening we won't have the same technical glitch. Hello, good evening to Bishop, and welcome once again to Starr Radio UK Niger Voices.
Thank you, Koiki. God bless you.
If you increase the volume a little bit, because we're trying to make sure that the audible is there, please let us get a clear audible from you as well.
Okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
A little bit. Maybe the earpiece that you're using, but let's see how it goes. If I need to adjust it, I'll let you know. What is the situation this evening? In the last week that we left you, we've been talking about Nigeria for a week. Last week, Wednesday, you were on air with us. We had a lot of discussion. What is it like, a week from today? A week from last week, when you were with us on the network on the Niger Voices, before we go into the real conversation.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me make sure that if everybody can hear Bishop Adesina, please just indicate yes. I know it's a little bit low, but I can hear him. I hope those of you that are listening to us, if you can just allow him to speak for a few minutes, but if you can hear him, please just indicate yes. Go ahead, Bishop, while I keep a bit mute.
Okay, thank you very much. The economic situation in Nigeria from the Lagos days here becomes more tense and unbearable. If you remember, early last month, when the president took the part of the policy on the subsidy removal and the devaluation of Naira. Initially, they denied they didn't devalue it, but now it's everybody. What happened is devaluation, and it keeps devaluing because the price is now the before, and it fights very hard on the citizen, though it gives fast income for the government, but the citizen can bear it. And I said it that time. A month after that, people might revolt because as an economics, when you are analyzing, you see the impact on the people and how people can feel. Then this can make you to talk like as if you are prophesying or postulating. So, and that's what we are seeing now by 2nd of August, Labour already talked about strike, nationwide strike, and many other reporting activities on the ground that is not yet out. It's a right from August. And the people in government already are aware of that and are preparing. So the people are trekking now, can afford enough to transport themselves to work, especially coming back from office. People trek some distance and use the other money to enter bus. Not to talk of feeding themselves, and the commodity price is going high. Of course, the high in taxation and everywhere, it's all around everywhere in the world. In Federal Reserve in U.S. today, the chair of the CBN.
Before we go into, bear with us, Bishop. Sorry for cutting you in. I want to get much more from the grassroots first before we go into the federal policy across other countries, because a lot of those outside Nigeria do not understand what Nigerians are facing. And you know, it's a week today that we spoke. What has really changed, you know, in your own community, in the buying, in the services? We know that prices of electricity keeps going up, and I have a video that I'm going to play the soundtrack. I don't know why the Senate are pleased or excited about price increments in the electricity. So the layman in Nigeria today, whether in the southeast, in the north, what are they really going through when it comes to their daily activities?
Okay, now to be sincere with you, I can say that the government is experimenting with the citizens right now, because you see that all the ministerial list is not yet out, and we don't have ministers yet. But the only arm of government like the CBN that has the head, which is acting governor, and from the perspective of the CBN alone, the action taken, and this will make people to know there is a lot of woto ahead for Nigerians. And that's why I said that Nigerians may cry for 4 years. That's But now, when you look at the difference between policy changes and personnel changes, that's the perspective of the CBN issue. That's no difference in the policy of the CBN, what Emefiele was doing, because that was the directive from the presidency. And people were confused when Emefiele was removed and they put a Yoruba man there. So they are happy, they thought things would change. You are deceiving yourself. It will not change because there is a kind of manual or a written that they are following, and it doesn't matter who comes in or who goes out, they continue the policy. So that perspective of personnel or policy is what the citizens don't understand. They don't understand that it doesn't matter the personnel change, the policy remains the same.
Okay.
And that's why the Naira conversion issue is still the same, it's still there. And the personnel is the one that now needs to use its initiative, how it will operate it. For example, there is difference between accountants and economics. And in the CBN, when you look for the past years, the people they've been putting as a CBN governor, they are all accountants, they are bankers, accountants. But it's only on the time of Soludo that you have economics, Soludo and Lamido, that you have economics. And there was a mighty work that Soludo was about to do. Let me explain briefly the difference between accountant and economics. In policy, dominated the policy making. Now, accountant is discipline, keeps record and look at everything, revenue, expenditure, budget, margins. So they are good in doing all that. But when you look at the economics understand accounting, but in a narrow perspective, they look at the growth and development. So, in part of all those record keeping of an accountant, the perception, the budget, the balancing and everything, an economist look at, in part of all of that, how can he use all those things as a tool for growth, for development of the country. So that's the importance of an economy. So looking at Nigerian CBN, we lack economics. We lack economics. And the people advising Mr. President, you will see that in the policy making. That's why I say they are experimenting with Nigerians. And economics don't experiment because they don't experiment on the market structure before they come and advise the post.
All right. So let
example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't want to talk about the key policies pronounced by Tinubu. What are those key policies? He talks about the thorough CBN house cleaning to remove if there is corruption there. 2, low interest rates, the promised low interest rates. Exchange rate unification, we know about that.
Okay.
Now, PMS, subsidy remover, infrastructural development, okay, remover of anti-investment and multiple tax policies. That's where the real issue is. But people don't know. People were jubilating when they mentioned that. That's where the real problem is. Now, easy facilitation of investment profits, reform of the security sector, and I think it is very work on that. But Nigeria is presently a tough country.
Okay.
Presently a tough country.
Yeah.
Because implementing these things, there is no cushion effect.
Okay, could the cushion effect, let's talk on that. I don't want us to go too far. I want us to go in between because an average Nigerian doesn't understand all these big, breaking down. All they want to know is why there is no food in the house.
Yeah, I'm going to explain them in a layman language so they will understand what is going on. Okay, just give me the next question.
All right. What I want to find out is Nigerians are complaining that since the removal of the subsidy, that has triggered the cost of price, which is the layman, the cost of price, when you go to the market, Joelegba, when you go to Aba, when you go to the north part of the country, when you go to the middle belt, the cost of food have risen. So food inflation was even higher. I'm just looking at an headline 2 days ago. Economy before Tinubu loses the plot. And I want you to respond after I've read through this. There are several markers and official response in the last week demonstrating the unfolding turmoil in the economy and the uncoordinated response of President Bola Tinubu while the Naira exchange rate rose to 870 Naira to $1. I don't know how that is having effect to a layman. I want you to explain that. But the pump price have gone to 617 Naira per liter. Inflation rate in June was reported at 2 digits, 22.79, because I know that it's only 1 digit in UK. But the food inflation was even higher, and external reserves are headed for another dip on the back of the unmet crude oil production target. And the last bit, Tinubu then declared an emergency in food security, ordered the release of grains, review his earlier palliative plan. We talked about that review last week, 8,000 Naira. We've moved away from there. So in the nutshell, Bishop, you're on the ground. You understand how these things work. What is Tinubu can do to make that Nigerians to laugh so that they are not hungry, they are not upset? Because it seems that 7 days from now, we're going to come back again next week, God's willing. We're still here. We still have the time. We still have about another half an hour to go through this discussion. My question is, if all this is not reversed, it seems that the Labour Congress will shoot out with the nationwide strike. Go ahead, Bishop.
Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm not going to say Labour should not go on strike, and I am not supporting Tinubu. But all the policies that is housed from the Tinubu's were found to be very good, but because of lack of competent hands within that have interest of the people, and that's why it doomed dry, because they felt that a national development has to do with the fatness of the country's account. No. The national development has to do with the well-being of the citizens. America is great because there are great people in America. Nigeria cannot be great with the foreign reserve of Nigeria when Nigeria has many poor people. Nigeria is not great. So that is what those leaders fail to understand. So not the fatness of the figure of the country's account for the well-being of the people, and that is the job of an economist. An accountant doesn't have problem with that. So far you balance account for you. Now, for what citizens need to be educated, the economics of the world has changed from the last 10 years. The economics of the world has changed. It doesn't matter where you are living in the world now. The economic has been merged to one global family economy. So gone are those days that when you want to do international trade, they will charge you like you are a criminal. But no more now. It has the gate window has been open for everybody. So it doesn't matter where you are. What you need is the exposure and the education. Now, as an investor on the market, there is no difference between local investors or international investors anymore. That is why our people should stop looking at their bank balance in their bank. But instead, it is your choice to let your money be in Naira or in convertible reserve currency that saves your financial value. It is your choice. So the people in government doesn't understand all those your cries. They are looking at the demand of the international exchange on them. For example, the policy that Tinubu have implemented now, like 5 out of those ones I counted out. I will bring them for you in a later. The fuel subsidy remover. When you hear subsidy simply means the remover is pleasing means increase a tax. There are 2 types of tax. You have direct tax and indirect tax. The direct tax is the one they tax you direct from your salary where you are working. But indirect tax, government is making money from the food you are buying, from the products you are buying, commodities you are buying, petrol, everything, the school you are going, and the services those school is paying to you. You go to state school, federal school, or the government is making money from you. That's why they call Nigeria the largest economy in Africa. It doesn't mean that Nigeria is the richest in Africa, but Nigeria has the capacity to be the richest in Africa because of the large number of citizens they have. That is what they mean by saying that. For Nigeria, you cannot convert that number of citizens to wealth. That's the problem of Nigerian government. So, subsidy remover, what they are saying is increase in tax, indirect tax. That's what they mean. And that is the reason. For example, what's the fuel company? What do they call them?
NNPC.
NNPC has no business in fixing fuel price value. If truly there is a real subsidy, every marketer will sell at his price. It's deregulated. But for you to know that nothing like subsidy, it is a plan. It is a government plan to increase tax. And that's why once they say they remove subsidy, NNPC fix higher price. That's the price they told NNPC to fix. And all the marketers comply because they will get to rebate back on those things. The marketers who are making money because so far they complain what they sell. So the government that is increasing taxation by saying that subsidy is government. So citizens need to be educated and understand our way so that when you are asking and demanding and protesting, you should channel your request to the right request, not to be asking a blind question. They don't understand those things the citizens are asking. They just see them as a disturbance. So, but when you ask the right question, look, you are educated, you have an insider, you know what's going on. So, it is the second is exchange in rate uniformity. It match the rate of a dollar and naira. And it is also increase in tax. It is increase in tax. What is happening is that government is now selling you dollars, and you have to pay for it. That's it. So government has increased the price of the dollar. You will pay for it. The government is getting the dollar at another price from United States CBN. So you have to tell it to you at another price to make his own money over here. In other countries, it's not necessary. But because they need money, these are how they need that government make money. So these are increase in tax when you see them doing all those things. Electricity Act came out. 7.5% tax on diesel. Do you hear about that? These are increase in tax.
Okay, is it wrong to have these increments? That's a question I want you to hold on to. But according to the National Bureau of Statistics, I've suggested the impending record high food inflation, which was last month, I believe. It has actually risen from 22.85% in May to 25.25% by June, which is about 2.40% increase. The National Bureau cited the higher price of the cereal, bread, oil, fat, fish, meat, potatoes, tubers, vegetable milk, eggs, and cheese. Why are we getting these price increase in the food? And again, the question is, can Tinubu really get this economy going? That's the question in the minds of many Nigerians and investors.
Thank you. Let me answer. Now, it is not wrong for government to make money, to get increase. Every business, government is a business, and government makes money. But who do you make the money for? Private individuals, yourself, or the people? Now, the importance of government to increase government revenue is good. So when they are increasing tax, they are increasing government revenue, they are reducing fiscal deficit, is good. So when government makes money, they don't have to borrow. That is good. The problem with Nigeria government is that why they are still making this money. The question we should ask is, why are they still borrowing? Why they were making this money? Why were they still borrowing? Now, during President President Buhari, immediately made 2.5% stamp duty on every inflow into every bank account. Today in Nigeria, the policy has not yet been reversed. So people are protesting in Lagos since yesterday and today that the bankers should have a step on their money. The protest has started on that one, on banks. Because the policy has not yet been reversed. If you don't have money in your savings account, if you have the zero in your savings account, bank will still deduct money. You open your account.
Let me try and get emphasis on that, because every now and then, I still hold a Naira account, and each time I have 200 Naira there, by the time I wake up, I look into that account, it's gone to 189 Naira because 100 Naira has gone missing.
These are stamp duties, and sometimes they don't even have something to say about the stamp duty because you didn't transact any money. They will just take your money and say that electronic charges. You see, that stamp duty gives the bankers right to take your money and steal your money anyhow. It is stealing, and you never sign for that when you are opening your account. You never signed for that, and there was no any time that bank called you to come and sign the new agreement. So that was brought in by Emefiele. And let me tell you, if you send 1,000 to somebody in Nigeria, either savings or current account, just know that close to 100 naira will make out of that 1,000. Now, supposing they are making 100 naira from average 1,000 transactions per day. Let's say a bank has like in Lagos, let's say the bank in Lagos has like 1 million customers. Only the bank in Lagos, 1 million customers. 1 million times 1,000 per day. Times, let's say 5 days, Monday to Friday. Let's say there is no transaction Saturday and Sunday. So 1 million times 100 naira times 5, then times 4 in a month. See how much these people are making from just one branch of a bank, and it's going to federal government. And count how many commercial banks in Nigeria and microfinance banks in Nigeria, and we still have little fintech financial organizations under microfinance bank that are transacting money also. These charges are going and they are directing to CBN. CBN is sharing the directors of the banks out of it so that they will not talk.
All right.
Because this policy is calling people putting money back. And the question is, this money is flowing to CBN and it should go to the cover of federal government. Why are they still borrowing?
Okay.
Why are they still borrowing? This led to that lack of trust. That lack of trust. It doesn't matter the policy that the government is doing to make money. It doesn't show on the government doesn't have the sincerity of purpose. So if the rules of Tinubu, if he's going to show sincerity of purpose in all this policy that he's making now and recovering money for federal government, making the citizens to suffer for it. Whereas there are people who have looted this country and are working freely and we just touch them to strengthen the economy. You can go ahead and ask.
Well, once again, for those of you that are still with us, on the line with me is Bishop Adesina, our political and also economic analyst, as we need to continue to analyze, the problem. But Bishop, they've been doing analysis of Nigeria for 63 years, or should we say since 1999. We've always had people like yourself and others that have come out to discuss and tell Nigerians, be it, right now, or even as there's more people that are agitating. I'm going to be talking about what is going on in the Southeast. But again, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is the Starr Radio UK. Remember, for those of you that would like to know more about the YSDM, it is called the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, Sovereignty for the Yoruba Nation. It is the group that is leading with 72 different groups discussing about the right to self-determination. We're going to be talking about that at exactly 8 o'clock. So maybe some of you are not aware that we have this organization that is right there. I'm going to be coming again to Bishop in just about a few minutes. Bishop, why are we not making more money to the reserve of the central bank? Despite promised savings from the subsidy removal, the foreign reserve dipped further to $34 billion by the end of June, according to the CBN. These actually went a little bit down from $37 billion that we had on January 3rd. That literally means that Nigerians that want to spend $1,000 because they have the money in their account in the Naira exchange, but for whatever reason, I believe that they've lifted that, because I was actually reading that from a particular bank, I can't remember, that you can now spend up to $500 using your card. Why are we not making more money on the foreign, reserve that we have?
Okay, thank you very much. You had the speech of the Bank of Africa Agriculture Bank. Femi Adesina. Yeah, he said it in the statistics with him that Nigeria is spending almost 95% of his income on to service loans. So if you have a company and 95% of your revenue, you spend it to service the company's loan. The company is as good as dead. The companies are good at it. And in spite of the fact that they are patching up and embezzling Nigeria funds, another thing can look at every time they bounce back on increasing the tax on people. They felt that there's no way to make money than to increase the labor on the citizens, to make money from the citizens. And what did they think people understand? Despite the fact that there is nothing wrong in government making more money to recover, increase in tax to reduce investment. So that's why you see company closing down in Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have a enabling environment for surviving business. But because of increase in tax, that is shortening growth. It shortens growth. Reasons that costs of investment will be high. Costs of investment will look at Dunlop close away from Nigeria and go to Ghana. All those tires that you buy into your car, they have been produced here before, but no, it's no more here. They are now bringing it from Ghana. Cost of production, cost of everything, because increase in tax and tax from fuel. There's no constant light. They have to power their own light by buying gen, fueling the gen, and this fuel is what you are increasing the price. Now another thing is increase in tax reduce income of people, because the fuel that the 1 liter that I can buy with 150 before, I'm not buying it with 700. So the amount I'm supposed to use to buy like 5 liters, I'm not using to buy 1 liter. I can't meet up my demand, my normal standard of life. I can't meet up again. That's the meaning. So increase the tax reduces income of people. It doesn't matter how you make the money. It cannot purchase meaningful commodity anymore. And that's the truth. And anything that reduces people's income reduce their purchasing power. To reduce their purchasing power. That means a lot of people will become poorer in the midst of abundance. So it's only few people that have influence with government that will be rich. So majority of people will become poor. So it will take people with privilege like that. The rich become richer while the poor become.
And this is where I want to come in again, because it seems that the forecast from the IMF is saying that there will be more 7 million Nigerians will be added to the already 130 million extreme people or persons in poverty. Because of the time is getting very fast, and I still have a few more areas that I want us to touch about. Tinubu hasn't come back out again to tell us about what is going to happen with the review of the 8,000 naira that we discussed last week Wednesday. Just again, I want us to break it down to the minimum for those of our listeners, especially those at home, so that they can get the grasp of the message. The question is, how can our people survive at this particular time? Elijah Rolobadi, thank you so much. Good evening.
Thank you very much. People have to invest. People have to invest. You have to invest, and there is no limitation of where to invest now.
Okay, how are those that doesn't have the money going to invest? People that doesn't have, in terms of 130 millions of Nigerians are people living in abject poverty.
How do you mean that people that doesn't have money to invest? If you are earning 10,000 naira, if you decide to invest 5,000 naira, it's an investment. The problem is where to invest and what to invest. That is the problem. And that is the cage, the weapon that Nigeria is using to punish its citizens. The lack of exposure that the people have. I told you earlier, the economy has done, it's not like 10 years ago you can stay in Nigeria and run your account in US, run your account in UK, and run a business in UK. But there are people who stay in Nigeria and earn in hard currency. Some don't keep their money in Naira, but they keep it on the crypto chain. Only our Yalata now on network wallet. Only man more how to operate it very well, but all more like the two must operate. What you as of you will tell her, I say, okay, you lower, she dollar lower, she Bitcoin lower, she Tinelo, oh my, so who is Bitcoin, you the bank, $50, $1 in there. Like that, people are now waking up, but we have majority of people that have buried themselves in the Nigerian routine of work and pay, and the Nigeria is the land you want to pay. And you can't be complaining. Nigeria is looking at you that I can't always share it, and the doors now open everywhere. These are one of the reasons we came up with YORÀBÁ to empower and save the financial aspect of our people. People need to be educated, and people need to call for training or seminars. Let us treat you up. Let us tell you what to do with your money.
So, are you saying that the Naira is not going to regain its value?
Now, Naira is presently on free fall, and you can see because of Tinubu said recently that they are reducing rate, and that is, I said it earlier, I said that's the problem, because if you are reducing the rate, then the national national accounts will have money. That's the reason that all the policies are accountant driven. It's not an economy that gave him all those things he's doing. They are accountant driven. So if you reduce that's why I want to talk about the US. The US, they didn't increase the fuel price in US. They didn't increase. They didn't do all that, but they just increased the rate, the exchange rate. They act it a bit, but gradually, if we have respect on prices of commodities, but it won't be hard on the people. They will make that money gradually and indirectly by acting of. But one thing about Nigeria is the one thing immediately that authoritative activity, that military kind of ruling doesn't respect humanity, doesn't respect other people's view because I'm there, I am God. Nigerian president is bigger than KABIRU. Nigerian president is bigger than KABIRU. You know, in Yoruba, KABIRU can do anything.
Yes.
That's why they call him KABIRU. Nigerian president is president. You don't see all those obas, they are afraid of presidents now. Because the kind of authority they build and put in the hand of a man. How can you do that? Of a man that can speak today and cannot and may not know what will happen to him tomorrow.
All right. So going back to I mean, you've been talking about the YORUBA for some time now. That maybe a lot of people are still not understanding, and some say that is a business. That is what we are hearing. Some of people that are out there say that it seems that you're operating a business, and that is why you are pushing that out there. Is it still advisable? I mean, I have 50,000 naira. Should I keep it in my bank? Maybe for the next 6 months. The only difference is that these 100 naira keeps coming out of it. I don't know what is it for. I mean, for diaspora, we might not be concerned too much. But if I leave a 50,000 naira in account, which I think I have right now, till end of December, what am I going to get back from that amount based on what you've been explaining, the remover? And is it possible now that maybe I should move that 50,000 naira into like the YORUBA that you're talking about, or some other places that I believe my money will be safe? If I leave 50,000 naira from now till December, how much will I be able to remove back from that same account?
Okay, now it is your responsibility to decide, because number one, it is a business. It is a business, and it's not one-man business.
Okay.
It's a bank. It's a bank. And we have many other banks also joining to transact Ruba. Just like Naira is being transacted by the Nigerian bank.
Okay, break that down to a layman. Transact. What does that mean to a layman? This is easier for those that have the understanding. When you say we are transacting, what does it mean?
How will I put that? You transact. Transact is a contract.
Okay.
Just like you go to bank and you put your Naira.
Okay.
Bank.
Okay.
The bank have an agreement with you. You have an agreement with the bank that I have to also amount with you.
Okay. So the bank can then use the money to transact on a different entity that I don't know about. But as long as my money is safe.
Money is safe. It's personal to the bank. I don't want to go that length.
Okay.
It's personal to the bank. It's personal to the bank. So it's a private company.
Okay.
That runs money. Ruba is money.
Okay.
Government doesn't run bank. Government doesn't run bank. It's a private. And so Ruba is run by private financial
institution.
Investors.
Okay.
Institutions.
Yeah.
And it is not NGO. They are not giving free money. Business.
Okay.
It has an agreement. When you put your money, you transact, your money is safe in Ruba. And Ruba has
okay, that word is the question in hand. The money is safe and the money is guaranteed. Many Nigerians invested in the stock market and most of them never got back anything. Most of our parents put in, 1,000, 100,000, 60,000 into a share, and most of them never got the money back. So if I invest or put money in the Ruba, am I going to lose my money as well? Should something go wrong?
No, nothing goes wrong. I have shares in Nigeria, like 3 different shares, and out of those 3 shares, there's only 1 share that remains, and I've not gotten anything from it. So nobody is going towards those paths anymore. That's why I say economic has changed from the last 10 years.
Okay.
To what we have now. Nobody is patronizing shares and all that. And number 2, Nigeria is difficult to invest in. Ruba is not under Nigeria.
Okay.
Ruba network is not under Nigeria because it has the donation of the self-determination. So if they got to know that this is Nigeria kind of thing, by rivalry, they can track it or stop it. So we don't want all that. So we choose a global network that wherever you buy in the world, like Nigerian Naira is limited to Nigeria. You can only send Nigeria within Nigeria.
Yes.
You can only send Naira within Nigeria.
Well, you can't take it outside and spend it anyway.
You can at the border of Benin, you can only change. You can't spend it within Benin. So, but Ruba can go worldwide because of the network, the blockchain network, and it's not under any government of the world. So it's a free blockchain net. That's what they call it. It's a free market. They call it free market.
Okay.
That is what the central banks of different countries uses to spend money in other countries also. So it's now available to business companies. So it's no more a luxury that, we can't give this network out. It is only central bank that can have it. No, they've gone. Technology has gone higher than all that. That's why any currency that uses such a network, they are the one they call cryptocurrency. That's why Ruba is in the set of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Because it uses blockchain network.
All right.
So now you talk about the security of your savings.
Yes.
Your savings is secure because Ruba is not a flexible currency. It's a stable currency, just like dollar. If you put $100 in an account, that $100 will remain here till Jesus comes.
Okay.
So Ruba is a stable currency. If you put 2 Ruba into your account, the 2 Ruba will remain like that till Jesus comes. And you know that 1 Ruba is $12.
All right. I don't even like using the phrase, that phrase, because it seems that some might not be really pleased with it. We've tried to take away our mind from saying when Jesus comes and Muhammad comes, maybe we can use something else. Yeah. All right, that's fine. Let me quickly put this question to you, because I only have 10 minutes with you, because our time is quite spent, and we're going to be going into the Yoruba conversation as well. Pastor Shola Dada says, would the Rubas serve like shares, as we have not gotten our Yoruba nation now?
To serve like shares? No, we are not selling shares.
Okay.
Deposit and save your money against Naira devaluation.
Okay.
Because Ruba was 10,000 Naira to 1 Ruba like 2 months ago. But the rate of devaluation of Naira within 2 months, Ruba appreciates against Naira 20%. So Ruba is 10,000 Naira to 1 Ruba now. So those who bought Ruba when it was 10,000, their money has appreciated 20%.
Okay.
So if they left your money in Naira, the value of their sweat will reduce with the valuation of Naira. So as it is on Ruba, their value is refreshed.
Okay. All right. Let's come back quickly before I let you go. Let's touch on the the sit-at-home going on in the southeast part of Nigeria every Monday. That literally means that the federal government, the state government is losing billions of naira from traders that refuse to go to their businesses because they have what they believe that the government is not doing between them and their leaders, disobeying court orders, kidnapping, rendition. It's been 2 years now. The economic of the state has been affected. And I want to go to Enugu State. The governor is a new governor, just as they normally do when they come in. They want to change policies and change things. Decided to shut down and seal businesses that were having civil disobedience. The Naira is not doing very well. Businesses are being shut down every Monday for the reason known to the Biafrans that is the only way they can engage the federal government. What do you think that the state governor should be doing? Because that has led to some protests. There was a counter-protest yesterday by those that disagree with the sit-at-home. And there were protests today by those that say you can't shut our businesses for doing the only thing that we have, civil disobedience. What is your take on that? Because we're still talking about the devaluation of the Naira, which is also having impact in that region as well.
Thank you very much. That's part of the explanation I may mention briefly when I was trying to. We have a lot of illiterate in the policy making. I am not in position to advise the governor, but if I am in a position, I don't have business to do with citizens who decided to sit at home or decided to come to their shop. They sit at home because there is danger in the community, in the city, in which the governor himself has no power to control. If you go out, then likely you may not come back. A governor cannot control that, and decided to be inflicting pain on citizens who try to save his own life. The purpose of governance is to protect life and property and create enabling environment for the people. The government of Nigeria, from A to Z, fails in all those things. And they're supposed to hide their head in shame. What is the pride about? Why are they locking people's shop? So it's a literacy in showcase that we are talking about. I don't know, that's their own cup of tea in the east. And in the west, the water is coming to the west too. So the west will count their own soon.
All right. All right. Before we let you go in 5 more minutes, some have taken us back, to 1983. Mrs. Oluchola Davis says in 1983, the 1 Naira was equivalent or equal to £1. Today, £1 has gone to, well, I don't know where you got yours. Mine is saying 1,030 Naira. It seems that, the prices are changing very, very fast. Can Bola Tinubu do any magic?
Pounds is 1,100 and 30
naira today.
Yeah.
And in 1983, it was £1 to 1 naira. So if I have 1,000 naira in 1983, I have 1,000 pounds. But today, if I have £1, I have 1,000 naira. And if I have 10 pounds, I have 10,000 naira, and that multiplies like that.
Yeah. So, what Tinubu said he is doing is that all that will start coming down, but not immediately.
Okay.
Because to him, he's making money now, and that money will be used to pushing those external reserve and all those things. Maybe we said we should give it close to ending of this year, by January, February, March, and Nigerians will begin to enjoy the government policy.
Right, so it's still early to call.
That January, February, March he's talking about, it is the richer that will become richer, the poorer will still become poorer.
Well, we don't want more people to be poor. We want more people to be elevated. The last question is, the right to self-determination. What does money plays in between? As we can see that the Biafrans are really saying it directly every Monday that they will shut down the Southeast. They've done so successfully well, in the last 2 years. And that seems to be biting, the state. As we saw, the new governor in Enugu state is not really happy. The Yorubas have not done much in terms of, using their strength or their skills similar to what the Biafrans are doing. Maybe they are looking in a different way. What can we say that, those that are agitating for the sovereignty of a nation as the right to self-determination, the inalienable right, when it comes to money played, we have a lot of Yorubas that are still pushing their money into the Nigerian economy. Can anything be done to make the economy of Nigeria feel the brunt of the Yorubas, especially those that are agitating, so that they can understand that, yes, just like the Igbos, they are losing billions of naira every Monday. And it seems that within the next 3 days or 4 days, they'll be going on a total lockdown for 2 weeks. Before you go, in just about 2 minutes.
No. Thank you for this fantastic question. Yoruba said something. It's not how you try to cook a particular species of vegetable that will not smell differently from the usual one. Now, the people who are Yoruba that are still carrying their money and investing in Nigeria, they are not sincere self-determination for sure. They are not, because they still believe in Nigeria. And there is no way you can ride off that. Wherever you're happy, that's where your money will be. So they are forced in Nigeria. Even though Nigeria is falling, even though the Naira is falling, they prefer it to be falling inside the bank like that. They think in the near future, that money they sweat for that can buy a couple of things, that value of that money as big as it is. You still be able to buy that value of things over. So if somebody now say, but where should they now keep money? Or where should they now invest? The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. I just talked about Yoruba now. And there are many other fantastic ways that you can invest outside Nigeria. And it has nothing to do with your relocating from Nigeria and all that. And if you say you don't have money, you are living from hand to mouth. Keep living from hand to mouth, and I think God will help you because you're not helping yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That has been Bishop Adesina, your last word before you go. And then hopefully next week, Wednesday, there will not be any strike because that will be our discussion, the NLC. But just your last word in 30 seconds to everyone that is listening around the world.
Wow. Thank you very much. My last word is that Nigeria is falling. Don't let your money fall with Nigeria. Try to know what is happening around the world. Try to study the progression of what is happening in Nigeria and be smart enough to relocate your money, or possibly put some money on a stable cryptocurrency, because it has no bounds within any country. Anywhere you are, you can bring out your crypto there and convert to the currency of that country. Then that is what Yoruba is all about. Thank you.
Well, that is what Yoruba is all about. Thank you so much, our commentator and political analyst, Bishop Adesina, from his base in the southwest part of Nigeria. We hope next week, Wednesday, there will not be any strike. And if there is a strike, be rest assured, Bishop will be telling us how the strike has kick-started on Wednesday. Thank you so much, Bishop. Have a very good evening, and thank you for joining us on the Starr Radio Network. Well, if you need to know more about the Yoruba and everything, you can reach out, and then we will get in touch with Bishop Adesina. I'm just seeing an image, a very, very terrible one. We hope situation of those of you in New York City, we hope as many of you in that vicinity as very, very safe. The engineer are working swiftly to get the image behind me. It is a crane that has fallen apart. As you can see in that image, that crane has just tripped over. I'm not sure if anyone have died or if anyone on the ground have been affected, but looking at the image behind you, this is the breaking news coming from the Starr Radio UK. This happened not too long ago, but it is worth bringing it into the conversation. A crane completely collapsed in New York. We pray for anyone within that vicinity, and we continue to monitor that as well. So that is, those are trying to build the skyscraper. As you can tell, we have a lot of them across New York, in the city, in UK, and in other countries around the globe. We are not seeing much of that yet in Nigeria, and it's because Nigeria is still backwards. I can't give this because it is not yet official, but names of nominees of ministry have now been circulating. We can't confirm that. I have to wait to see what the government is going to be giving out. But one thing is, looking at those names, if those names are the names that we're going to end up having, my question would be, can Jude worth becoming a minister?
Okay, this is Starr Radio UK. In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
in your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone. The best radio show.
It is just 8 o'clock, and it is still the best radio show on the Starr Radio UK network. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, as the last hour is a sponsored program, and it is all going to be in Yoruba language, but towards the end, in just about a few minutes, I will do a summary. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, bí a ti ṣe ń kẹ́dùn olóyè tí ìyá wọn kú, k'Ọlọ́run Ọba Elédùmarè kó bá foríjì ìyá wa Sarah Adéyẹmọ. Wọ́n jáde láyé ní ìjọ Saturday, gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ láti ìlú Ìgbòho níbi tí ìyá náà ń gbé. K'Ọlọ́run Ọba Elédùmarè kó foríjì ìyá, kó tẹ́ wọn sáfẹ́fẹ́ rí, kó wá dúró ti ọmọ tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀, kó dúró ti gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀ ní gbogbo àgbáyé níbi tí àwọn ọmọ náà ń bẹ. Gbogbo wa tí a ti ń pè, tí a ti ń kí olóyè Dr. Sunday Igboho, àwọn náà ní ká máa kí gbogbo wa pé bí ó ti ṣe jẹ́ láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà, gbogbo wa pátápátá la máa gbọ́ ibi tí ó kù sí. Àmọ́ gbogbo wa tí à ń béèrè pé kí ló máa wá ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ikú ìyá wa? Ǹjẹ́ olóyè Igboho wọ́n máa lọ sílé ni? Ǹjẹ́ olóyè Igboho wọ́n máa ṣe báyìí ni? Gbogbo yẹn kò ń ṣe tí a lè sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nísìnyí, àmọ́ in tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ni pé nígbà wo gan ni wọ́n máa dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ olóyè Dr. Sunday Adéyẹmọ Igboho, nítorí pé ó ti máa pé oṣù mẹ́ta tí ìyẹn President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tó bọ́ sí orí oyè, àmọ́ President Bola Tinubu kò tí ì gbé ọ̀rọ̀ lérí ẹnu olóyè Dr. Sunday Igboho àti Nnamdi Kanu tí gbogbo wa ti ṣe mọ̀. Ẹ̀mọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó wá ń béèrè pé kí olóyè ńkọ́ kí wọ́n gbé yẹ̀wò dáadáa nítorí pé ilé lílọ tó bá máa lọ àti pé gbogbo bí nǹkan ṣe rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí kí wọ́n ṣọ́ra díẹ̀ nítorí pé àwọn tí wọ́n ń lépa wọn wọ́n ti fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ kọ́lọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó má jẹ́ kí a rí wàhálà. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà pátápátá ni à ń sọ fún olóyè, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn ń gbọ́. Àmọ́ èyí tí a máa gbọ́ nísìnyí òun ló jáde látẹnu olóyè Ìgbòho láti ìyá wa Ṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú nígbà tí wọ́n sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé.
Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko àti lájò, mo kí wa pé a kú dédé àkókò yìí, a kú fọmọ èèyàn ṣe, a kú ara fẹ́ra kù ti màmá wa tó dolóògbé ẹ̀yin màmá Ada. Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè àforíjì òkú àtẹ̀wọ̀n sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere. Bàbá wa Májàsọ́lá Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ, wọ́n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa pátápátá, àwa tí a ti pè wọ́n, àwa tí a ti ṣe àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́, àwa tí a ti fohùn ránṣẹ́, àwa tí a ti rán èèyàn wá bá gbogbo wa pátápátá láì yọ èèyàn kan sílẹ̀ ni wọ́n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wípé gbogbo wa la máa kẹ́yìn àwọn arúgbó wa láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Wọ́n wá ní kí n fi àkókò yìí fi ṣe àlàyé fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè ìbéèrè pé báwo ló ṣe máa rí, wípé tí àkókò bá ti súnmọ́, torí màmá wa kì í ṣe màmá Májàsọ́lá nìkan, màmá gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Fún ìdí èyí gbogbo wa náà lájọ máa ṣe àṣẹ̀yìndè màmá wa, ká máa ṣe tijó tayọ̀ torí pé òkú màmá kì í ṣe òkú ọ̀fọ̀. Kí gbogbo wa pátápátá ká lọ máa gbáradì bí ẹ ṣe ń béèrè pé ṣé kẹ́ máa gbáradì sílẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo wa lájọ máa ṣe, ká máa ṣe láṣeyè láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Tí àkókò bá ti súnmọ́, bàbá wa wọ́n á fi ohùn síta tàbí kí wọ́n rán ẹnìkan kó fi ohùn síta láti jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa mọ̀ pé ọjọ́ báyìí ni àbí ìgbà báyìí ni àbí àkókò báyìí àti ibi báyìí ni ó máa ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Fún ìdí èyí màá fẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká fi ọkàn balẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n kí a máa fi ọkàn wa náà ro bí a ṣe fẹ́ ṣe fún ìgbáradì ètò ìsìnkú màmá wa. Mo kí wa a kú fọmọ èèyàn ṣe. Inú bàbá wa Májàsọ́lá Ìgbòho Òòṣà, inú wọn dùn púpọ̀ nítorí pé wọ́n rí pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá a wà pẹ̀lú wọn. Wọ́n wo wájú wọ́n rí wa, wọ́n wọ ẹ̀yìn wọ́n rí wa, wọ́n wọ̀ tún wọ́n rí wa, wọ́n wò sí wọ́n rí wa. Inú wọn dùn torí pé ẹ jẹ́ kán mọ̀ pé èèyàn láṣọ èèyàn. Mo kí wa o, á ṣe é ṣe fún wa o, àmì ṣe tì láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ire.
Tó òun lẹ ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu Comrade Ṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú nípa ìsìnkú ìyá wa tó máa wáyé. Gbogbo ètò náà ni a máa fi tó gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Aago 7 ló lù lórí ètò Starr Radio UK. A tún fẹ́ mú ọ̀rọ̀ tí ó ń lọ náà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lórí àwọn tó ń béèrè fún òmìnira. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n lọ́ǹchì rédíò ní ìjọ Saturday tí a máa mẹ́nubà láìpẹ́ yìí. A dúpẹ́ fún bàbá wa tí wọ́n ń darí ètò àwọn ìlànà US. La dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo èyí tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn níjọ Saturday náà nítorí pé bí gbogbo wa ti ṣe mọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ iṣẹ́ ló ń lọ lórí pé kí àwọn èèyàn wa kí wọ́n lè gbọ́ àgbọ́yé dáadáa. Àgbọ́yé kí ni? Àgbọ́yé pé ọmọ Yorùbá ń kọ́ òfin lọ. So níjọ Saturday tó kọjá, àwọn Voice of Yoruba Radio TV ìlànà chapter wọ́n lọ́ǹchì ìtànpè ní the virtual radio station tí ó máa wáyé ní orí ìkànnì wọn tí a máa sọ fún wa láìpẹ́ yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀rẹ́ gbogbo wa tí a bá fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn ó ń bẹ lórí YouTube náà tí wọ́n ń pè ní Voice of Yoruba Radio TV. Àwọn ìlànà ẹgbẹ́ ìlànà ti Amẹ́ríkà àwọn ni wọ́n dá kalẹ̀ ní ìjọ Saturday tí bàbá wa emeritus Professor Adebanji Akintoye ìyẹn olùdarí gbogbo Yorùbá self-determination group tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ as Oracle wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú wọn lórí ìjókòó níyẹn ìjọ Saturday nígbà tí wọ́n lọ́ǹchì Voice of Yoruba Radio TV ìyẹn ní orí amóhùnmáwòrán bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀rẹ́ ó ti jáde náà nínú ìwé ní The Nation newspaper bí wọ́n ti ṣe kọ ẹja kà fún yín ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ gbọ́ Yorùbá ẹ má bínú we will do translation just in case some of you are struggling to get the message that we are passing. This is now a special announcement that comes up every 8 o'clock from the Starr Radio UK through Ilana Omo Odua. Voice of Yoruba Radio TV, birthed in the United States of America. Let's go into it. Voice of Yoruba Nation TV is a brainchild of a social cultural group, Ilana Omo Odua, as birthed in the United States as part of the effort to promote Yoruba language, culture, and civilization internationally. Also known as Voice of Yoruba, Ohun Omo Yoruba, the outfit which has its core values, promises to ensure that its programs are accurate, fair, and as complete as possible. The organization's sole co-coordinator, Bade Adekunjo Babawa, said the Voice of Yoruba shall be virtual launching, which took place July 23rd by the former Nigerian ambassador to Philippines, Dr. Yemi Farumbi. It would be supported also by the leader of the Yoruba Nation group, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, renowned priest and poet, High Chief Yemi Elebubon, Chief Imam Adura Ningba, and Venerable Nelson Fadoju. All these took place on Saturday, and if you have missed any of such, you can go back and check them out. Voice of Yoruba Nation can also be downloaded on the Play Store, on Google, where you can also be expecting the iOS that is still being worked on. That is coming from Ilana Omo Odua, US chapter. That is about that. Now let's come again to the YSDM for the benefit of those that do not know that there is an organization that is working towards the right of the Yoruba people under Professor Adebanji Akintoye. The YSDM, known as the Yoruba Self-Determination Group, is a group put together in conjunction to make that message can become clearer. It is in conjunction with 72 different other groups that are working tirelessly to bring what we call the Yoruba Nation to the far beyond of the world, where the Yoruba Nation struggle and the quest continue under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the chairman of the YSDM, and also the deputy chairman, Chief Banji Ayiloge. For more details and information on how you can get involved in the YSDM, you can check them out on www.ysdm.org, where every day more details and information are put in there. Once again, if you'd like to know more about this particular group and how you can also have your own organization to be part of that as well, why not join the YSDM today? Because the YSDM is the only group that have 72 different groups included is the other groups as well. Also, this weekend, the Yoruba Central Office will be taking the Yorubas to what they call a picnic. And that picnic is all being put together by the group known as the Central Office. Dr. Okebiorukosi, on the 29th, they'll be traveling to the particular picnic outskirts of London. If you'd like to know more details, you can reach out to me and I'll get in touch through you to them so that you can be part of that. You need to book in advance. I think it's about £30 for that trip. And you need to be at Woolwich Library at exactly 9 o'clock when the coach will leave. The coach is expected to return back to that same position at exactly 1800 hours. That is also coming is another very important news that is now come to my desk also, that there will be another launch that is coming this August, where the Yoruba radio station will be launched on the 5th of August. What do we know and what do we be expecting? I'm going to be telling you all that in just about a few minutes. Once again, as we continue to appreciate everyone that are working tirelessly across board to make sure that the quest of the Yoruba people continue to be heard around the globe. It is important that we make sure that those that do not know are well informed about all these developments. So these new other radio that is about to be launched, I will tell you a little bit more about it. Coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. The Yoruba Nation Radio TV, be part of history making. The Yoruba Nation shortwave radio, reaching every part of the world, will be launched on Saturday, August the 5th, 2023. Please tune in on a frequency 17735 KHZK. Let me take that again. You can tune in on this frequency 17735 17735 KHZK for the first live broadcast. Afterward, every Saturday and Sunday from 8 p.m. Yoruba land time to 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Please save the date. This is going to be on the shortwave. Once again, Yoruba Nation Shortwave Radio will be launched on August the 5th of 5th of August 2023, and that will be happening where the launch will tune to all of you. Make sure you tune in as well. If you haven't have that radio, maybe àsìkò tí ẹ lè ra rédíò yẹn fún àwọn èèyàn yín nílé ní kíákíá ní yàjóyàjó nítorí pé ní on the 5th láṣẹ Èdùmàrè wọ́n máa launch the short wave radio tí a ti ń retí tí a ti ń dúró dè ní ìjọ tó gbà díẹ̀ ó máa jáde padà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè ní ọjọ́ Saturday ìyẹn ọjọ́ 5 inú oṣù kẹjọ. Yes, I think I've done justice to that. So fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ mú this frequency síta kí ẹ kọ sílẹ̀ tàbá ti ń pè padà báyìí nítorí pé orí ẹ̀ lẹ́ máa tún ní sí ní ọjọ́ Saturday yẹn tí gbogbo yín máa gbọ́ ohun tó máa jáde níbẹ̀ ìyẹn ní aago 8 ìyẹn aago àsìkò ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, which is going to be the same time with UK, and you can change that time according to your time zone around the world, either backwards or forward. Once again, the frequency will be 17735. 17735. Yoruba Nation Shortwave Radio. Ìyẹn máa wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ Saturday, August 5th. So, kónílé kó sọ fún oko, kólóko náà kó sọ fún nílé pé the shortwave radio is coming back on the 5th of August, láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. As we continue, ní aago 8:00 fẹ́lọ́lù lórí ètò Starr Radio láṣìwà níbi tí a ti ń gbé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ in tó ń lọ nílé. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ aburú ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí gbogbo wa tí a ti rí tí a ti sọ lórí ẹ̀. Àwọn aburú kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó ń kan mí lóminú nítorí pé kí ni àwọn èèyàn wa ń kọ́. Gbogbogbà ni wọ́n pariwo pé ebi o, ebi o, ebi o. Ǹjẹ́ a lè wá solution sọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀? Àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, ẹ jẹ́ ká sowọ́ papọ̀, ká tẹ̀lé ẹni tó mọ̀nà torí pé ẹni tó mọ̀nà òun ló lè gbé wa lọ síbi tá à ń lọ. Ìyẹn náà ni bàbá wa olóyè Dr. Sunday Igboho lábẹ́ àṣẹ bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè lábẹ́ àṣẹ àwọn YSDM Chief Banji Ayélóge àti gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kí ni? Ẹ jẹ́ ká ní sùúrù ká tẹ̀lé ètò tó ń fi sílẹ̀ nítorí pé gbogbo ètò tó ń tò yìí kó bá lọ síwájú náà ni, kó bá ní àṣeyọrí nítorí pé àti gba ìlú kò ń ṣe tó jẹ́ nǹkan tí gbogbo èèyàn máa ń fọwọ́ sí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn olóṣèlú yín wọ́n ní fẹ́ fọwọ́ sí. Ìyẹn náà ni Ọmọyẹlé Sowore nínú àwòrán kan tó gbé jáde ó ní bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ nínú Nàìjíríà bí a ká gbọ́ látẹnu tiẹ̀ gangan bó ti ṣe sọ nígbà tó ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ fi ọ̀rọ̀ wé pẹ̀lú àwọn kan níbi tó ti ní ìyẹn Nàìjíríà fún rẹ̀ kò likely pé Nàìjíríà máa lọ sókè ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kí ni ẹ jẹ́ ká fi Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀ ẹ yá gbọ́n tí Ọmọyẹlé Sowore tó sọ ní ìyẹn ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá lọ lọ́hùn.
It is Tinubu's government. It's Yahoo government. Do you know who owns Mata? It's Tinubu's mother. That Abiba too, Mogaji, the one that died. They will be the richest people in the world by the time Tinubu has done 4 years. We are unambiguous and we are unapologetic. This is not our government. We have accepted that our job will be to liberate this country. We have discussed what we will do for the country. There is nothing that I said in 2023 that has not come to pass since 2019. How can you help somebody to build refinery and you cannot repair your own? The money that Dangote used in building his refinery came from the same NNPC they claim cannot manage refineries. I can say it and I can be quoted. I was the first person to say it, that Dangote cannot complete his refinery when Buhari went to commission the refinery. This Buhari that is now on the run. Are you getting my point? So, I do not also discuss palliatives. Palliatives is an insult to the people. The number of trucks of fuel smuggled is nothing. The problem with this subsidy is that people that are known by the government are the ones stealing subsidy money. They are all lying that subsidy is not good for the Nigerian economy. And as that guy rightly put it, the reason why they took away subsidy is that subsidy is the only thing that Nigerians enjoy that they themselves, they are following it up. You can tell how much is subsidy, but you cannot tell how much will be applied elsewhere. Since they removed subsidy, which road have they constructed? They didn't even pay salary of NYC and some other. So you would expect that because they removed subsidy, everywhere there should be light, everywhere the roads should be shining, there will be employment. Nothing has changed in Nigeria since they removed subsidy. The only thing that removal of subsidy has brought is hardship and suffering. All the major political parties, as they call themselves, were all going to remove subsidy. So if you voted for Atiku, subsidy would have been removed by now. If you voted for Peter Obi, subsidy would have been removed by now. If you voted for Atiku, they would have floated the Naira by now. Maybe Naira will even be 1,000. If you voted for Obi, they would have floated the Naira for now because they are not interested in Nigerian people. They are interested in the foreigners who come and cash out on a short-term basis.
For annoying people, politicians, and corrupt thieves, like I usually say. People were saying that some of us wasted our votes because we voted for Sowore. We didn't vote for Sowore. We voted for the age of his ideas, the revolutions of his ideas. That's what we voted for. The only thing that can change Nigeria is a comprehensive revolution. Can you imagine that we did not have the privilege of free education? But it is the generation of my mom that went to free schools, enjoyed free education. They're the ones destroying the country today. And let me even tell you, if not that our leaders don't think, even if we're talking about the economics, where NNPC is not emitting money to federation accounts. So that means oil has failed. Our problem is a leadership problem. And for me, why I will continue to align myself and identify with someone like Sowore is that he knows the issues. Yes, generality of Nigerians are not ready. That's like I always tell him. The generality of Nigerians are not ready for change. Because if you are ready for change, why will you leave a Sowore and follow somebody who was?
ẹ jẹ́ ká fìyẹn sílẹ̀ akọni ká kàn fi tóyin létí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá méjì náà nìyẹn tí àwọn ń ṣe ó yàtọ̀ sí táwa gbé dání àmọ́ táwọn náà sọ mọ́ kíyàwó alálùbáríkà Comfort Ológunjà ẹ kí gbogbo aráalé àwa náà ń kí yín gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ mọ short wave radio frequency yẹn òun ni àwọn engineer àwọn ti bá wa gbé síta ẹ kọ sílẹ̀ sódà gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bẹ nílùú òyìnbó ẹ̀yin náà tẹ́ bá ní rédíò nílé kẹ́ lọ máa gbáradì fún ìjọ Saturday ìyẹn August 5th nígbà tí ètò yẹn máa wá sórí amóhùnmáwòrán gbogbo èyí tí ẹ bá fẹ́ gbọ́ lórí rédíò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ náà lórí ti online náà tí a máa sọ bí tí ẹ ti máa gbọ́. Àmọ́ fún gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ gbọ́, gbogbo yín ẹ lọ sórí shortwave radio frequency tí a fi síta yẹn 17735 KHZK. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká padà ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjọba bí ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe ń béèrè fún right to self-determination. Bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn ọmọ Biafra náà sọ pé àwọn ò fẹ́ ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ nítorí pé ìlọsíwájú àwọn àti Nàìjíríà ó ti mẹ́hẹ. Ìlọsíwájú àwọn àti Nàìjíríà kò ṣiṣẹ́ mọ́. Mo kí Roberto Zico, Benson Adéyà mo kí yín, Dennis mo kí ẹ, Chukwu mo kí yín lórí èyí tẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa lórí Twitter space, Edith mo kí yín, and the rest of you. We have just been discussing the right to self-determination that must be respected. A lot of report is coming. Let's go straight to the government in exile of the Biafra, Simon Ekpa, as there's a lot of information and update that I need to give, as we are now just 4 minutes before I will hand over back to our producer, Mr. Achi Amon. Once again, the right to self-determination is not a crime in any world around the globe. And that is why we are asking again, is Bola Tinubu going to sit with the Biafrans, or are we going to allow anarchy to become the state of situation in Nigeria? Thank you so much, as we have now also reached the target of 30,000 followers on our Twitter space. Thank you so much. But one thing is, you are not following us enough on the Starr Radio UK, and we hope you're going to do so. I'm monitoring the situation in Niger, as the National Guard have now fired a warning shot at protesters who were actually marching towards the presidential palace to show solidarity with President Buzuma of Niger Republic, as report is coming out that there seems to be a coup going on right there. In UK news, the Labour plans to borrow billions would destroy the progress we are making on inflation. It's far below 8%, which we were talking about Nigeria is 2%. That is a sign that my plan to half inflation is working, according to Rishi Sunak. What do we know that the government in exile is putting out? According to the government in exile, the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic government in exile, petitioned the United Nations, the White House, and let me read exactly what is stated in the communique. Quite a lot of communiques coming out from the government in exile. We're going to be reading as much as what we can read. Human rights abuses against the people of Enugu State by Peter Umba, the governor of Enugu State, Biafra, Southeast Nigeria. And this is addressed to the United Nations, the European Union, the government of the United States of America, dated today, July 26, 2023. And it goes like this. Dear sir or madam, with reference human rights abuses against the people of Enugu State by the governor, Peter Umba of Enugu State, we wish to bring to your notice the gross violation and fundamental human rights abuses of the people of Enugu State, Biafra in the southeast Nigeria, close bracket, by Peter Umba, the governor of Enugu State. Peter Umba is confiscating and locking up people's businesses and means of sustenance without recourse to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or any charter, treaty, or convention known anywhere in the civilized world, thereby denying the people of Enugu State the right to personal property and free enterprise. Today, the 26th day of July 2023, he actually ordered the massacre of protesters in Enugu State, where 2 innocent Biafrans were massacred and many were injured. Peter Umba is currently in a court academic certificate forgery during the last election in Nigeria. The elders and religious leaders in Enugu State have been calling for Peter Umba to resign from office, and in a bid to save his political life, he has resorted to play a stooge to the ruling Islamic Party, All Progressive Congress APC of Nigeria, who in turn are using Peter Umba to hunt down the perceived political opponent Christians in Enugu State, Biafra land. By this letter, we are notifying you of the atrocities of Peter Umba and the ruling Islamic APC party in Nigeria. We request that you impose a visa ban on Governor Peter Umba add him on the list of terrorists and the haters of freedom and democracy in Nigeria. Honorable Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister, Government in Exile of Biafra. So that is how far I can go tonight on the Starr Radio UK. Shout out to Shegun Ono. Shout out to Aziz. Shout out to all our listeners from the southeast to the north, from the north to the middle belt. And we hope that tonight you'll be able to grasp from our political analyst and economics commentator, Bishop Adesina, that we are grateful. We hope that this time next week, there will not be any strike. And if they're going to be strike, be rest assured that on Starr Radio UK network, I'll be discussing on that. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ramatsu Sui. Innovative. Good evening, Tony Ages. And as many of you that have joined us, I would like to appreciate you all. Clement, Showore is no longer smart. He should channel his energy to fight and liberate the Yoruba nation and leave the zoo alone. Once again, this is
UK. This is Starr Radio UK. In your car, at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show. The best radio show. The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7. At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
And this is how far we can go as we continue to monitor the atrocity committed by the governor of Enugu State, and as we continue to say to the international community, the right of the Biafra must be respected. The right of the Yoruba people must be respected by any of the state governors across the 36 states. The right of the inalienable right is under the United Nations, under the African Union, and as the Scottish are also asking for the same right, that means that on that beautiful note, I will now hand over back to Mr. Archie in the studio. And as we say, it seems Nigeria is going under a pressure. And that will be our last track from Ras Kimono. May his soul rest in peace. Nigeria is really under pressure. Thank you so much. So everyone, join me next week again when I'll be back with hopefully with or without a strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress. Nigeria is under pressure. Ras Kimono, and that will be the final track. You can take over now, Mr. Archie. Thank you so much to every one of you that are watching on the sister broadcast. My name is OLAYOMI Koiki. And again, to those of you on the Twitter space, thank you so much for staying tuned throughout the program. It is always Wednesday. Thank you so much, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja. Remember that the Yoruba launched the shortwave radio. One more time, as Nigeria is going through, his last lap. I've come out of the Starr Radio. We are now just on the Koiki Media network, and I'll probably just stay for another maybe half an hour maximum. Let's say maybe we can have one or two people. If you want to join me on the Twitter space and you have one or two things to say, I will open the line now for you. You can raise your hands. I will bring you in, and you can talk to us. The phone line as well is open for those that know the line. Nnamdi Kanu actually stated this. I picked up this in the morning. Bear with us. Let me turn some of my system down because there's a lot of pressure as well. And I say thank you so much to my producer, Mr. Frank David, on the Starr Radio. Mokibu Wentia Darapọ̀ mọ́ wa across the globe. Let's remove this machine so that it's draining a lot of my resources here. Continue to support us as well. You will appreciate your support. It's very, very important. Media is expensive. If you want us to get our own narrative out as against the brown envelope journalists in Nigeria, you must support everyone that is fighting the freedom. So I have now come back to my own channel. We are now live on only Koiki Media. We are not connected to the Starr Radio. And I would like to say thank you so much to everyone that have joined us. Ajana Kumo King Mami wa Mudupe Dada Ekabo Soyeto Omoluabi Omo Yoruba Tata Mukinyi. Once again, if you want to say one or two things, you can call in. The line is open, but at exactly 9 o'clock, because the family. Let's just give us another half an hour. So at 9 o'clock, I will end the program officially. But if you still want to have one or two things to say, the number is +44 74 0440 917. If otherwise, let's just say kudos to every one of us. We shouldn't give up. Freedom doesn't come cheap. Nobody wants you to be free. That is the reality that we must accept. Nobody wants you to be free. So we have to fight to free ourselves from the bondage of the British Empire that was put together, the British, nonsense that they put this country called Nigeria together and allow hatred, as we saw the hatred from the southeast to the middle belt to the southwest. It is much better that we go our separate way. That doesn't mean anything, but maybe I should remind you, this is what some of our people have been saying for a very long time, but nobody wants to listen. Let's listen to this.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Yoruba development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction, and there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not.
Moki must be, thank you so much. Moki went there on the Benin Republic. Moki say without hesitating or leaving anybody behind. Asta Modu, thank you so much. Thank you, Muritala, Adiola, Moki, to our brothers from the Biafra, we love you. Always remember, when some of you come and say, are we still in Yoruba nation? It gets some of us on our nerves. We are not those supporting Bola Tinubu. Tinubu is a Yoruba man. We've told him that, trying to fix Nigeria is not going to work, but we cannot say that as a Yoruba man, we're just going to throw him out. It is up to him to listen to us, just as to listen to you. So when you all see some of those that are campaigner, we don't like you coming to ask us, where is IGBOHO? Where's IGBOHO? As if, you sent IGBOHO job. IGBOHO spoke to your leader. I was in that meeting. I've told you so many times. Whatever transpired in that meeting is still valid until Nnamdi Kanu comes back and say, whatever the discussion then is already invalid. Nnamdi Kanu cannot tell us from the prison that what he discussed with myself and IGBOHO with Simon Ekpa is invalid until he comes back, have a meeting with myself and IGBOHO and also Simon Ekpa, and then that was when we will know whether we still have to work with Simon Ekpa or not. And I've told our Yoruba people all the time, they can't do anything with that, whether they like it or not. Some of them don't like us working with you, just like some of you don't like working with us. But the word of you saying, is IGBOHO still doing Yoruba nation? That is just as nonsense, because you haven't got your country yet. We're all still working towards getting our country, and that is the reality. Don't let those that are trying to infiltrate us. They are on the social media. They are Emilokan, and most of them now are crying. We told them not to vote for Tinubu because that is not going to solve the situation. We are Yoruba nationalists. I am proud to be a Yoruba man. There's nothing wrong in that, but that doesn't mean that we will be stupid to allow those that are infiltrating us. I don't see any reason why those of you that want to be free with us, we should be fighting each other. We should have a focused mind. The Fulanis are always ready to make sure that there's division among us. Yes, there has been history among us. I have told my Yoruba people all the time, when we have a nation, we can control our borders. I actually saw something that Mr. Shegun, my brother there, sent to me, how the Fulanis are being chased out of Ghana. So they're everywhere. They are pests. They disturb the peace of everyone. Yemi Fatoke Moki. So let us understand that. But don't go on our platform and start writing rubbish comment and saying, where is IGBOHO? As if you guys sent IGBOHO job. IGBOHO is where he is, just as we pray that Nnamdi Kanu comes out from where he is as well. They were going to kidnap IGBOHO as well, but we moved very faster. Your own people left Nnamdi Kanu, and that's why the Fulani government were able to transport him. That should never has happened with the activities of the Biafra that we've seen, with the temperature that you guys have. How did they manage to kidnap somebody like that leader? That for us was a big blow for IGBOHO when he called me that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped. But we pray that Bola Tinubu will do justice by reversing that. Take him back to Kenya. That's the least situation. So all these issues, we always say, don't go on our comment section and be trying to bully us because you don't have a country yet. You don't have the total territory. Yes, we love you, but respect us. Let us respect you as well. So that is about that for the Biafrans, and we know that Simon Ekpa, as I still value him as the Prime Minister, and that's why I talk about him. The media in Nigeria will never address Simon Ekpa as the government in exile because they addressed him in another way around. But we love him, and we believe in him, and we respect him for the great job he's doing under the autopilot. That doesn't mean that we don't have problem in the Yoruba land as well. We have issues just as you guys are having issue with the doors. So that is on that. Let's come back to reality. We miss IGBOHO's mother. There's nothing we can do. IGBOHO's mother died on Saturday, and we just have to accept our fate. Come plan B. Love you guys so much. And as many of you that continue to support the platform, like I always say, if you want a better narrative, you will not get it from channels. Abati is a very, very biased individual. You can see from some of his utterances. Oh, what have I done there? Oh my Lord, I think I've actually closed my Facebook. I have almost forgot that we are still live, Let's see if it's still on. What have I done? Okay. Whatever we've done there, I think, okay, it's still there. View this post. All right, I think I'm still live. I hope I'm still live on Facebook. Yeah, I think I'm still live. All right, I'm still live. I'm still live. All right. So, let us continue, the campaign. Don't get tired. Then I am on Yoruba. Koiki, are we still doing Yoruba Nation? No, we are not doing Yoruba Nation. We are doing Kabu Kabu. Now, Kabu Kabu we dey do. When you come and ask this question, and you see people coming out, the world media, all the medias, home-based media, coming out every day. The UK court decision questioned why British authority didn't intervene in the Nnamdi Kanu case. I told you the British are scared of the Biafra, the British government. They fought them together. The British fought the Biafra in 1967. And this time around, if anything happened, it is not 1967. We hope there's not going to be such situation. We hope we can do justice. That is why they didn't intervene. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to every one of you around the world. We will continue to talk about as many other areas. Igbori is still trying to fight £100 million confiscation in UK. Igbori was at the presidential villa with Tinubu. Not sure why they are together, but again, we can't stop that. I've seen a list sent to me. I cannot confirm whether it is authentic, as we know that sometimes things like that can circulate. I've posted it, but all I can say is that we hope that That's I'm gonna look at.
Let's leave
that. So on that note, let me start winding down, and then tomorrow we'll kickstart again. Nigeria played with Republic of Ireland. Republic of Ireland is just less than 5 million. Nigeria is a 250 ethnic playing a 5 million nation. Is that not no be juju be that? No be juju be that. You know, imagine Biafra playing Yoruba nation in World Cup, in Women's World Cup. Are you not thinking of that? Let's see who won the game. Nigeria in a tricky situation as Ireland crashed out of the FIFA World Cup. Okay, so Nigeria is still in it. Ireland, bye-bye, 5 million. You see, we don't use Agbaya beat them. Ẹni Ọlọ́run dá, those are the silly questions, don't mind them. Yoruba nation all the way. Castle Studio, thank you so much, my brother. Moki gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí. Ireland don't lose, they don't lose to Nigeria. Nigeria don't do Agbaya. 250 ethnic group, they play one nation. Unbelievable. The Republic of Ireland is 500 billion when it comes to their GDP. Imagine a Yoruba country. You know, are you thinking of futuristic in Nigeria? You must be joking. You better just spit that away. If you think that you'll get futuristic in Yoruba land of Biafra as it is right now, in the southeast rather, you know, think of a Biafra, think of Yoruba nation, and we can all work together. And on that note, appreciation to support us. People always say, you know, why must we support you? Yes. It is just, you know, ethical that we ask rather than going through the back and speak to all these your corrupt politicians that are ready to give me envelope as well and say, Koiki, this $20,000. You know, just stop talking about Tinubu. Let's leave this guy alone. That's what they want, but we are not ready to compromise or such because it is not who we are and what we stand for as a brand. We've left everything that we are doing prior to Yoruba Nation. Everything I had in plan for my media, I've actually kept it on hold, using it 24 hours now for the right to self-determination. For those that are still thinking that there's this stupid Dagburu out there, you're wasting your time. She has nothing to offer. Come back home. Let's think about working together so that we can push our effort. The Buhari, the sadist, wanted to kidnap Igboho just as he did with Nnamdi Kanu because Nnamdi Kanu was sold off by some of those that was loyal to him. Those loyal to Igboho almost sold him out. But we were very, very quick intervention and Igboho survived it. Like I always say, I flew out of the same airport with Igboho on the day Igboho was picked up. But we were lucky enough to have a great father like Professor Adebanjo Akintoye that stopped the helicopter sent by the evil government of Buhari to pick up Igboho and bring him and parade him, if possible, you know, in handcuff and say, this is your Igboho. We picked him up. They couldn't kill him in the house. Over 300 soldiers came, but Igboho survived it. And today, that is still affecting dead or alive Buhari. I don't know whether he's alive, whether he's dead, whether he's a copycat, whether he's a carbon card. I don't care. There's a lot of things. I was actually watching a movie briefly with my wife yesterday, and they were doing, you know, when people say they can't do carbon copy or human, they can literally make, how do I want to put it, a duplicate of you. Some people don't think it's possible. I laugh in my diction, you know, but I hope some of you will understand that if it's the real Buhari, so be it. If it's not the real one, he has left now. Tinubu has now taken all the wahala. Tinubu wanted to become the president. He cried. He said, Emilokan, Emilokan, Emilokan. He's there now. Let's see how Emilokan will survive with all the problem that Buhari left for him. Thank you to my beautiful family for, you know, accommodating me. It's not easy. Aboloniwa Olayinka, thank you so much. Olakunle, my namesake, thank you so much. As I'm going to be winding down, remember that Tinubu himself said, I don't believe in Nigeria, but this time around, he believes in Nigeria because he's not the president. I'm not sure that he would have said that again now that the COP have turned around. But at one point, Tinubu was also on exile. Being in the prison, or being killed, or being saved, is three things a freedom fighter will have to go through. You're either in the prison, you are either killed, or you are either on exile. So Igboho on exile at the moment is not going to be forever. It's just a temporary measure. Igboho will return back to our territory at the appropriate time by our gods of our land. Igboho will get his freedom. It's just a matter of time. We told you not to vote, every one of you. You thought maybe I will bring guns or whatever that I don't have to destroy the 2023. A lot of you even label me and say, oh, your mouth, nothing happened. Okay, a lot is happening now. Hobby, you cannot even eat 3 square meal. Me, I still dey drink bottled water. 50 naira is 3 pure water in that zoo country. I told you not to vote. Yoruba people, you were abusing me. You were cursing me. You were labeling me as the one that keep pushing Igboho. You called me all kind of names. This one wey dey beg for money, born bastard. Don't come here and be begging for money. Go and meet your politician, Olusegun. When I told you not to vote for Tinubu, you all went ahead and vote for him. I'm going to block you. I don't want to see all this nonsense. Please, I beg, I need money. You dumb bastard. Go and meet your politician, because I told you all, don't vote for Tinubu. You went ahead and vote for him. Is Tinubu going to be advantage for the breakup of Nigeria? Time will tell. So where's that person now? Don't come on this platform and put your nonsense post that if you're fine. If you're hungry, go and meet your government. I am not your government. I have told you Nigeria is not working. Block your head off. Bye-bye. So when I told you all in Yoruba land, you were all saying, Koiki, shut up. How can you sit in London and determine how we make our things here? Now that you have all decided to vote, wait for Emilokan. Just wait, okay? Wait. Emilokan is working on everything. Stop complaining. Wait. It's a matter of time. When we say this country is not working, every one of you have gone to vote. Benny, Aziz, they're all bomb bastard. I told you to come and let's protest. You're telling me I want to kill you. Now you are being killed without protest because nobody can eat. That means your strength, you will lose it every day. Maybe I should play the final video with just about 8 minutes before we go. So many of our people got killed in Ojota. Maybe some of you forgotten about this guy. He was killed in Ojota on the 9th of January, which was our last outing. Yoruba people were saying, you see Koiki, you have sent people that kill them now. And you are in London with your family. Okay, my family is in Nigeria as well. But one thing is, some of you will die, like this man said. The new Shege is just starting.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
I congratulate fellow Nigerians who have realized their power, that their votes count. I'm looking forward to tomorrow to fly to my base and go back to my cows and sheep.
Other countries were refused at first, but we have to remember, and this is a really important point, that self-determination is an inalienable international right and a law as well. And other countries will recognise Scotland's democratic choice expressed at the ballot box. They will recognise that because that is the route that many other countries have taken in order to become independent. And just to make that point, that international law is very pragmatic on that point. So we should.
As far as I'm concerned, yes, I'm satisfied we are still existing as a united nation after that little fracas. Thank God we've made it to 6 years, and I hope we'll make another 6 years. I may not be here, but that is my belief. Always to keep Nigeria one, together, and to really make sure that there is a better...
The weight of Nigeria is not the weight that any normal, ordinary human being can carry, except with the help of Almighty Allah. It is evident, therefore, that the Almighty Allah is with our president. He is carrying the weight for him. The weight.
Much indeed.
Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ àti gbọ́. 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 Ó tún yá ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari, ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari, ṣe bàbá, ṣe Buhari.
Ṣé bàbá oya ṣé àti gbọ́ Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ àti gbọ́ ṣé bàbá ṣé bàbá dealt with them for 8 years àti gbọ́ oya ṣé bàbá ṣé Buhari ṣé Buhari ṣé bàbá change next level. Let's listen to this.
The Yoruba-speaking tribe of Nigeria has been accepted as the 45th member of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. Leader of the Yoruba World Congress, Professor Banji Akintoye, says the membership represents a very important step in the collective quest of well-meaning Yoruba people to achieve the goal of dignity and self-determination.
It is my great pleasure and pride to inform you that the Yoruba nation has been admitted to the membership of UNPO. UNPO means Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, with its headquarters in The Hague. The UNPO expressed their gladness to welcome the Yoruba nation as a new member of UNPO, and they are looking forward to working with us. It is important because it is a great stride, and it represents a very important step in our collective quest to achieve the goal of dignity in the country in which we live, and also to achieve the goal of self-determination for our nation. Our Yoruba nation now has a voice on the international stage via the machinery of the UNPO, which maintains a permanent presence before the United Nations and before other international agencies like the European Union, the African Union, the United States government, and the governments of various other countries across the world.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àkí ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tìlé tó kó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan mọ́ Adéyẹmọ. Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹ́rù bo lórúkọ gan-an. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àfìmọ̀ṣọ̀ kan ká lè débi re ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ gègèlè wodò ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sì náà ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè gbòó ìkan ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ gbòó mọ̀ rẹ kí ló dé gbòó mọ̀ rẹ sí ọmọ òpópó sanran ìgbàgede gbòó sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní gbòó mọ̀ rẹ bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní gbòó àfikàn pọ̀pọ̀ sí amúkan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ àfiṣẹ́rù wálé wàrà mòjé ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà tójú kò fi rí ńkọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ti ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Igboho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá òkúta ò ṣe gbé fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kún díẹ̀ kí tọ́ domi láéláyé ìtọ́ mi lè domi Sunday Igboho arógun má ti dí tó jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé kókó.
And on that note, as I wind down now, thank you so much, my beautiful sister Wura Yoruba, Wura_Yoruba, for also keeping the Twitter going on. We need as many Yoruba people. Hello, register for Twitter. Omobolaja Abdullah, good evening to you. Thank you, everyone that stood behind throughout the program. As you can see there, the Yoruba Nation shortwave radio reaching every part of the world with the launch on Saturday, August 5th. 2023. If you're in UK, you have a radio that has a shortwave. You will be able to listen on Saturday, the 5th of August. Maybe you don't have one. You might want to get one and keep that in your house, because on the 5th of August, 2023, 8 p.m. Yoruba land time, 8 p.m. UK time, that radio comes on air. Then afterwards, every Saturday and Sunday for 1 hour each, the radio goes live from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Please save this date. Take a screenshot of that. Make sure you keep the frequency that you'll be listening from. This is not online. This is going to be a frequency. 17735 is a shortwave. Take a picture of this, and this is going to be launched by God's grace on Saturday. Kudos to all those behind the effort to bring it back. We will be talking more about all this later in detail, but for now, we will just continue to promote it until the day of the launch. Then after that, there will be other discussion surrounding all this. Kudos again to those that are working tirelessly, money-wise, effort, time. It is not easy, but there are some people that believe in this vision and mission of the Yoruba people that needs to be free. Thank you so much, Omoluabi, Omo Yoruba Tata. My name is OLAYOMI Koiki. A lot of you call me KOIKIMEDIA. And on that note, I hope 2023, for those that voted, I hope you've made the right judgment. If otherwise, history will remember every single one of us. Because in 200 years, we are all dead and gone. But those of us that stood against the voting will be remembered. You might be wrong, but one thing is, Tinubu will not be able to fix the economy of Nigeria. That economy is dead like the Titanic. And if I say Titanic, it's Titanic. And one thing is, since the Titanic sank, they've not been able to bring it back up. And that's the image of the Titanic behind the scene. Thank you so much. Bye for now, as we play the Yoruba anthem and appreciation to everyone. If there's not reason for us to come out, you can join me on Twitter when I'll be tweeting and doing everything as we do. But remember that you can also be part of the movement. Speak good about the movement rather than speaking bad or against the movement. That is the least you can do. And if you don't want to be part of the movement, just stay aside, while those of us that are in are ready to fight it till the end. I'm really very low. Bye for now. not sure why I am not getting my audio on the. Let's see. Why is my audio not coming out? Let's find out. Bear with me. Let's see if there's any adjustment that needs to be done behind the scene. My audio is not coming out. Not sure why. Maybe I have to take another one. Let's delete this Yoruba Nation audio anthem and let me get another one because that might have crashed. So let's get another one in quickly. Yoruba Nation anthem, where is it? And that close the broadcast. And here we go. Yeah, let's see now. Okay, that doesn't seem to be coming out as well as audio. Alright, I'm not sure why it's not coming out. Maybe my system needs to be rebooted. You can hear, I cannot hear it from here. Alright, that's fine. Let me just mute my mic there. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Like my big mother there would always say. Thank you so much. Good night.